It's a high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
One hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division Final.
Hey Commodores fans, welcome into the pregame show. David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose. Commodores taking on the Chatham Anglers tonight for the first time at Veterans Field in about a month. But Danny, first I want to look at last night, a tough loss to Katuitt.
Yeah, 6-1 loss to the Kettleers. I mean, the score doesn't really give justice to how the game was played. It was much closer throughout the majority of it. 2-1 Kettleers throughout the first 7 or 8 innings, and there wasn't really much going on for the Commodores offensively. Katuitt was able to get those 1 extra hits, couple extra RBIs to really put distance, but another tightly matched game that, hey, you're going to drop some of those games sometimes, and that's what happened.
Troy Claunch was a star last night. He suffered a little bit of a collision in the field on a play at the plate, but offensively he was great. He had a single and the only RBI of the game on a sac fly. Katie Florio is with him pregame. Katie. Thanks, Katie and Troy. Looking to bounce back tonight against Chatham. This has been a great season series so far. 3 one-run games. Commodores win the first 1-0. Then in the doubleheader, they get a walk-off and then a 1-run loss. What have you seen in those first 3 matchups?
Well, I mean, it's going to sound so straightforward, but they didn't stick the landing. But the contact, the power, and the pitching is just so evenly matched. I mean, 1 through 9 in the lineups, they've all got contact at the top of the order. They've got speed on the base paths. They've got power in the middle of the order, both of these teams. That was very evident in those first 3 games. And then the pitching has been so dominant, right? Starting pitching was the name of the game for really those first 2 outings, and then the third for Chatham, at least. They had great starting pitching in Game 3, and those were so evenly matched. That's why they were so close throughout the majority of the game. Obviously, it just seems so obvious to answer, but it's really just the equality in the rosters and the competition level. Both these teams are really set up for each other.
Commodores have won 2 of the first 3 matchups as matchup number 4 comes in just about an hour away from first pitch. Danny, what do you think the key is?
If you could see behind us, it's kind of foggy here at Veterans Field, and we haven't had a fog out, at least in our 2 years with the Commodores, haven't had a fog out yet at Veterans Field. This is now our 4th and final appearance. It might come around this time, so I think it's going to be scoring early and making sure that Tyler Ross has that run support and has, you know, enough in his tank that he can put the Anglers down early, and that the Commodores can come away with that lead. If you're leading 1-0, 2-0 after 5, hey, with this fog, that might be all you need.
The Anglers and the Commodores, matchup 4 and the final one of the regular season. But who knows, maybe down the road we might be seeing these 2 teams square off in August. But before that, we'll start with Game 24. For Danny LaRose and David Korzanowski, we'll be back just after this with First Pitch.
It is a chilly, windy, foggy evening here in Chatham, Massachusetts, as we get ready for matchup number 4 between the Anglers and the Falmouth Commodores. David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose. The last 2 times these 2 teams played at Veterans Field, it was June 12th. A whole host of temporary players riddled each roster. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final was that night, and we now return to Veterans Field for the final matchup between the Anglers and the Commodores. We will step aside as we take the national anthem and be back with lineups and first pitch after this.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development, online at www.curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
We are back for matchup number 4 between the 12-10-1 Falmouth Commodores and the 15-10-1 Chatham Anglers. David Korzanowski joined alongside Danny LaRose as these two teams squared off last Friday in a doubleheader back at Gov Fuller Field. They split those 2 games. The Commodores winning matchup number 1 back on June 12th. Danny, let's take a look at the lineup for the Commodores tonight.
I like the lineup for the Doors tonight. Last night we saw a bunch of new faces, not new faces, but a smattering of different guys. It was a pretty unique lineup. Today we're kind of getting back to the basics. Seeing Baron Radcliffe and Austin Langworthy back into the lineup as well. Those 2 guys got the day off yesterday, but 2 days ago they kind of caught fire a little bit. They each had a hit, each had an RBI. Baron Radcliffe had a couple, so I'm excited to see those guys back into the lineup, especially at this small little ballpark we got here in Chatham. I mean, Veterans Field isn't very big, so it lends itself to some big left-handed power hitters.
It's just 365 to dead center, 314 down the right field line as we take a look at this field, which is, I don't know, it was overcast. I feel like it's changing every 20 seconds.
Yeah, I thought the fog was going to settle in and we were barely going to be able to play like an inning, and all of a sudden the fog has kind of cleared out. It's still a little bit here, but yeah, it's your guess is as good as mine, and I don't know. I think we'll be lucky if we can get through 5 without any hiccups.
So you got to look at the lineup. It's Cantrell, Dunn, and Deloach to start things off. Cantrell back at second, Dunn in center, Deloach in right. He is leading the Cape League in average at .391. Trey Cruz DHing, batting 4th. Taylor Smith, the walk-off hero a few nights ago, catching and batting 5th. Tim Tawa at 3rd in the 6th spot. Austin Langworthy, Baron Radcliffe, and Kevin Kendall round out the order. Langworthy in left, Radcliffe at 1st, and Kendall at short. We now take a look at the starting pitcher for the Chatham Anglers. It is Ty Madden, a 6'3" righty from the University of Texas with a 2.20 ERA, Danny, but the Commodores got to him his last time out.
Yeah, the very most frequent appearance that he made was against Falmouth, and he didn't get a decision after throwing 4 innings of work, allowed 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Nothing that really jumps out to you that he did too wrong, but he didn't set up Chatham for the win. They ended up losing that game 3-2. So he was good enough to get them through 4 innings in a tie ball game, but not good enough to shut down the Falmouth order. We'll see if Falmouth can have a little bit more success against him, because I said it in the pregame, you're going to want to score early in a game like this that may be called short. And Ty Madden, having seen him before, that definitely helps out.
16 and a third innings of work for Madden on the summer. He has about a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio with 16 Ks and 7 walks. He's issued at least 1 walk in every outing, and in 3 of his 5 outings, he has struck out at least 4. Commodores again losing last night to Cotuit, 6-1 at Lowell Park. They've kind of been up and down as of late. A 14-0 drumming at Duran Park a couple nights ago to the Braves. They bounced back with an 8-1 win against Hyannis, and then drop a 5-run decision to Cotuit last night. Trying to get back to winning ways are the Commodores, and starting things off is the switch hitter, the consistent leadoff man, the team captain, if you will, Hayden Cantrell, who's going to take this AB as a lefty.
Yeah, Hayden Cantrell has been just so ridiculously consistent for the Commodores. He is always at the leadoff position, as he should be, and I would not be surprised if he swings the very first pitch in this ball game.
First pitch from Madden. It's low and away. Ball 1. Your umpire behind home plate tonight, Jeff Mertzel. Not the same as Jeff Merzel. Believe it or not, I swear to God.
What?
First base umpire, Ronaldo Cockrum, and third base ump, Jim Fonseca. Here's a ground ball up the middle. It deflects off the mound over to short. Nice pickup and throw by Jorge Arenas. 1 down.
Nope, safe.
God damn. Tough.
You missed
He beat
it.
it out down the line. Really close play for Arenas, the shortstop from Stetson, and Cantrell is aboard with the leadoff single.
Yeah, Hayden showing off that speed as he was able to put one slowly up the middle, and it was a nice quick relay, but Hayden just getting a step in. That was a very close call.
Blake Dunn, the righty center fielder from Western Michigan, steps up to the plate. Madden from the stretch. He takes a long look into his catcher, Brady Smith, and Dunn calls for time. Defensive alignment for Chatham. Jamal O'Gwyn out in left, Cooper Davis in center, Cade Cabanis in right. Anthony Villar at third base, Jorge Arenas at short, Caden Polkovich at second, Alex Terrell at first, as the first pitch to Dunn is a strike on the inside black. And behind the plate is Brady Smith from Florida. Chatham first place in the East Division, 15-10-1. Falmouth third in the West with 3 less wins, the same amount of losses, and the 1 tie. Madden steps off the mound and looks back Cantrell. Commodores first in the Cape League in stolen bases. Checks on him again, and Cantrell slides in safely. Sun now trying to break through the clouds in left field. Madden again with a long look in. He kicks and delivers. Cantrell was running, but it's fouled away.
It's a great pitch. First pitch swinging. Blake Dunn on a high fastball, about letter high. He really got one that he was locked in on, and just a tad off of it.
Blake Dunn, a .266 average this summer. He's found a home at that 2 spot and in center field, one of the Commodores' best outfielders. 0 for his last 7. That broke a 3-game hit streak. He was best around July 4th, went 6 for 9 against Cotuit in 2 games. This is a curveball that breaks away from Brady Smith, and behind him, Cantrell jogs over to second base. Commodores with a runner in scoring position.
Well, that gets the job done. Hayden was running on the previous pitch. It was fouled away. Very next one, he is able to take second base. Smith probably should have had that. I know it was a curveball in the dirt, but he tried to go with one of those flashy backhand picks when you just got to get down and dirty when there are guys on base.
Wind blowing from left to right here at Veterans Field. Strike 3, got him looking. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. Dunn doesn't like it. He goes down, a strikeout victim.
I didn't realize that was the 3rd strike. The curveball went in the dirt. I thought that was a ball.
It was a ball. There were 2 foul balls before that.
There are 2 foul balls. I am missing everything. We got a
bar.
bar.
We got to settle in. We had a long drive from Chatham. To Chatham, I should say.
My biggest issue is the bar in front of us is blocking out the catcher and the strike zone entirely.
Those are important to see. Now Zach Deloach steps in. 1 on, 1 out. Deloach takes a ball just outside. Danny, what more can you say about Zach Deloach? 2 games ago, he had an incredible game against Hyannis. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Went 1 for 4 last night, now has hits in 12 of his last 13 games. Cantrell's trying to steal third. Throw from Brady Smith. He's in safely. Cantrell eager on the base paths as a ball missed low. Smith was up quick and firing to Anthony Villar, but the tag on the back too late.
And that was just speed. That was just speed beating Smith. That was a great pop time, great throw, right on the money. Villar with a really quick tag right on to Hayden Cantrell. But again, his speed is just too much, as he's probably one of the fastest guys on the Cape.
Deloach cracks one down the right field line, and this ball is gone. Lands on the hill out in right field. A 2-run blast for Zach Deloach. Commodores up 2-0.
There you go. There's that 310 or 14-foot fence out in right field. He pretty much put it right where that fence is, about 314 and change, and put it well over it. I mean, that's a fly out in most other ballparks, but here you can exploit that. We've seen it before last season. Haven't yet seen it since game 1 was only 1-0, but Zach Deloach picking up right where he has left off just about every game. The guy's a hit machine, and I mean, the power is something else.
In his last 9 at-bats, he's 5 for 9 with 3 home runs. Trey Cruz slices one to third base, but it's caught in the air from Anthony Villar, 2 down.
This is a great start. That's a great start for the Doors. That's exactly how you would draw it up if it were a computer simulation. Is Hayden Cantrell gets on base, he takes a couple bases thanks to his speed, maybe a mistake, and then Zach Deloach hits him in. I mean, that is textbook what you want to do in the top of your order to start off the game.
Chatham, also a team that's actually floundered a little bit lately. They've lost 2 in a row and haven't scored a run in those 2 games. They lost 7-0 last night against Wareham, 2-0 the night before to Harwich. Taylor Smith takes a strike, fastball at the knees. He is the catcher tonight. He's done a lot of designated hitting for the Commodores, and he has been a home run machine. Now tied in the team lead in home runs with 4. Ball misses high and away. Madden trying to establish that fastball. Smith has 5 hits on the summer, 1 double, 4 home runs. Here's one sliced into right center field. It'll drop for a base hit. There it is.
Finally.
He finally hits a single. I didn't know if he was ever going to.
Yeah, you could have had me fooled. I mean, the season's coming to a crashing halt. There's only about 2 or 3 more weeks. I could very well have seen him going, 2 games hitless and then a home run, 2 games hitless and a home run. But he finally gets it, as it was a downward moving pitch. He went down with it, got enough under it to just be able to poke it into right center field. Didn't get a lot on it because it was off the end of the bat, but probably better that way.
So Smith in his first 25 at-bats reaches base 5 times with a hit. He had another 8 walks. That's the first time he has singled this summer. Big swing from Tim Tawa on the fastball, coming in at 90 miles an hour. He comes up empty. 0-1 the count. Commodores putting together a solid first inning. Already 3 hits and 2 runs. Madden from the stretch kicks and delivers. Fastball high, 1-1.
I'm excited to see Tim Tawa get going. I feel like I've been saying this just about every game for the past week or so, but he's only 1 for his last 10, which doesn't look good on paper. Hasn't been striking out. No strikeouts in 4 straight games. He's putting the ball in play. He's getting good wood on it. Just isn't getting it where it needs to go.
The 1-1 from Madden. Strike at the knees, beautiful pitch. And he's 1 strike away from ending this inning, which only has taken about 10 minutes, but the Commodores have done their damage, trying to add to it. Tawa watches an 88-mile-an-hour fastball at the cleats, 2-2. On deck is Austin Langworthy, 3rd-year Commodore. Madden fires. Here's one that will get past Villar at first base. Another single from Tim Tawa. 3rd single of the inning for the Commodores, and now 2 on and 2 out.
That was more a reactionary swing. That was just a really quick fastball about knee high. Tim kind of caught off guard, but the hand speed, got to credit that. He's got good bat speed, is able to get around in time and poke it just past Alex Terrell, who's not the most agile at first base. So that's a good piece of hitting, 2-strike hitting by Tim Tawa.
Austin Langworthy steps up to the plate with 2 runners on. He takes a strike.
It's a low strike zone being called today.
Well, Madden has gotten hit around, that's for sure. This will be pitch number 20, 12 for strikes, 7 for balls. But 4 of those strikes have been put in play for hits. The 0-1. This one lifted foul. Nice snag by one of the fans here at Veterans Field. He almost caught it on a line. I'm still going to give him the out. 0-2 the count now to Austin Langworthy, batting 149 this summer. Madden, the righty from Texas, had a 3.40 ERA last year with the Longhorns, and he gets his first strikeout. It was a high curveball that Austin Langworthy went after. He comes up empty. 2 strikeouts for Madden in the top of the first inning, but the Doors score 2 on 4 hits, no errors, and they leave 4 left on base. To the bottom of the first we go. It's 2-0 Falmouth.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal. The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
The Doors strike first in the top of the first inning. We'll walk you through the Chatham batting order. Leading things off will be Caden Polkovich, playing second base, followed by Cooper Davis, a newcomer from Vanderbilt, who's batting second and playing center. Jamal O'Gwyn, the RBI leader for the Anglers in the 3 spot. Alex Terrell cleaning up at first base. Ben Ramirez designated hitting, batting 5th. Jorge Arenas, Brady Smith, Cade Cabanis, and Anthony Villar round out the order. Ramirez DHing, Arenas at short, Smith catching, Cabanis in right, and Villar at third base. On the mound for the Commodores is the switch hitter, the pitcher, the two-way player, the jack of all trades, Tyler Ross. Danny, he's been pretty solid this summer, and it seems like he keeps just getting better.
Hey, just like Ty Madden, his last appearance was against these Chatham Anglers, same exact game. So this is an exact recreation of Game 1 of that doubleheader. And Ross went 5 innings, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Very similar to what Madden did. He was just good enough and ate up enough innings that Falmouth was able to go to the bullpen for less time, and they weren't tagged by Chatham. But yeah, he has been steadily improving. He's been steadily bringing up those innings counts as well. Started off his summer with 1 inning and then has gotten some starts in his last couple of appearances on the hill. And he has been, like you said, jack of all trades, but he's been pretty solid at every single one of them.
Ball 1, 91 miles an hour according to the gun here at Veterans Field. Misses outside to Polkovich. 286 hitter with 4 doubles, 3 home runs. Ball number 2 misses away. Tyler Ross 1-0 on the summer. He didn't get a win in any of his starts. He got a win in a relief appearance against the Chatham Anglers.
Sheesh.
Ball 3 misses away.
So he pitched that 1 inning in the, that would have been the 8th.
So he pitched the 8th. The Commodores scored in the top of the 9th, and then Brixey came out for his first save. Ross hoping that he can recreate some success here against the Anglers. Strike number 1 is a fastball down the pipe. Polkovich was taking the whole way. It's a 3-1 count.
Well, hey, I said it about Madden where it works well for the Doors facing him a second time. Chatham now facing Ross a 3rd time. They've got to come out.
Foul ball back behind the press box here in Chatham. Doors wearing their road blacks with the maroon lettering, gray pants, maroon socks for some, maroon stirrups for others. Anglers with their home pinstripes, the blue cursive Anglers across the chest, and the red number. Here is a fly ball into right field. Deloach diving, and he makes the catch. Zach Deloach on what was sure to be a double in the gap, goes full extension to rob Polkovich of extra bases.
He is just incredible at everything. I mean, anything he's doing on the diamond, he is doing it very, very well. He tracks that one nicely, gets over there in a quick hurry. I mean, he's not the fastest guy, but he made it look like he was right there. Full extension dive to squeeze it and make the catch. That was not an easy catch by any means. It was falling fast. Deloach having a heck of a first inning.
Cooper Davis takes ball number 1 from Ross. Davis, again, a recent addition from Vanderbilt, 2019 national champions. Ball number 2 from Ross, again high.
Yeah, he keeps missing upstairs, which is not good. If you're going to miss low.
Davis with a .327 average with the Commodores during his freshman campaign. Sophomore year, excuse me, as strike number 1 comes in at the knees. He had 37 hits, 7 doubles, 19 RBIs. The 2-1, low and outside. Ross, some trouble finding the zone right now. That was a changeup, 82 miles an hour, and in the right-handed batter's box to the lefty, Cooper Davis. The 3-1, upstairs, ball 4. Davis gets aboard with a 1-out walk to bring up Jamal O'Gwyn.
I don't know, he just looks like he's rushing right now. I mean, Ross wasted no time getting back on the rubber even after delivering a couple of balls pretty far outside. Gets right back onto the rubber, goes from the windup, works really quickly through it. His mechanics didn't look sound on that. He looked like he was kind of flying open. So he's just, if I were Taylor Smith behind the plate right now, I'd go out there and just talk to him, settle him down, tell him to slow it down and really focus on your mechanics.
Jamal O'Gwyn takes a ball, and a nice stop by Taylor Smith. Getting in front of it, moving to his right. Defensive alignment for the Commodores, the outfield pretty standard. Langworthy in left, Dunn in center, Deloach in right after that highlight reel play. Tim Tawa at third, Kevin Kendall at short, Cantrell back at second, Radcliffe at first. And Smith behind the plate, who receives a fastball down the middle, 1-1.
So Jamal O'Gwyn, team leader in RBIs for the Anglers, but he doesn't have any RBIs in his last 6 games played. We mentioned how it's been quiet offensively for Chatham the last couple. They've been shut out in both, but O'Gwyn really running into a rough patch because he's supposed to be that guy. There's a reason why he's batting third.
Jamal O'Gwyn had a 2 RBI single against the Commodores in game 1 of their doubleheader. Those were the only 2 runs that Chatham would score. Falmouth had a walk-off thanks to Zach Deloach.
Who else?
The 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed, 1-2.
Ross is starting to hit his spots more. He's taking a little bit more time. I'm liking what I'm seeing now.
O'Gwyn, a USC Trojan. Ross with a long look into Smith. They agree on a pitch. He settles with the glove in front of his chest, kicks and delivers.
Oof.
Checking on Cooper Davis at first base was Taylor Smith. He waits a little bit to throw to Radcliffe. He might have had him on the back pick.
Yeah, I mean, Davis was running, it looked like, on the lift of the leg by Ross, and then all of a sudden he stopped a quarter of the way to second base for whatever reason, just kind of stood there. Smith cocked his arm. He was ready to go. I think he just didn't have a grip on the baseball. I think that's what held him up. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. He's dead to rights.
2-2 over towards third base. High hop for Tawa. Throw on to Cantrell for 1. On to Radcliffe. Not in time. Jamal O'Gwyn reaches on a fielder's choice. Would have been a tough double play to turn, but the Doors almost did it.
Yeah, O'Gwyn, I think that shows just how slow he is. I mean, that was a very softly chopped ground ball over to third. What? It's honest, David. He's not the fastest, and it was a very slowly chopped ball to third. Tawa not even with that much of a laser to second base. Cantrell had to really gun it over to first, and O'Gwyn barely beat it out.
But beat it out he did.
He did.
He
At the end of the day, he did.
At the end of the day, he was fast enough.
He's no Usain Bolt.
Sure. 79-mile-an-hour curveball skips in the dirt to Alex Terrell. Alex Terrell, a teammate of Danny LaRose at the University of Miami.
Right, I play for that team. I forgot.
Basically, right? Here's a hard hit ball into center field. Dunn fields it on 2 hops. Holding up at second base is O'Gwyn. It's a quick single from Terrell on the second pitch that he sees.
Boy, did he need that. He was 0 for his last 12. Now he's got hits in 3 straight games. So he had 1 hit in back-to-back games. Now make it 3 in a row. Terrell, when we saw him just a couple Sundays ago, he was really at the lowest of lows in that weekend. He was right in the middle of that 0 for. He was slumping big time. He went 0 for 4 with a couple of Ks. But this time around, he jumps right on Ross before Ross can get ahead of him.
So Terrell did have that 0 for 12 stretch, starting against the Commodores, going until July 8th. But as my partner mentioned, 1 for 3 in back-to-back losses. Chatham just having trouble getting the offense going. They've had 7 hits total in their last 2 games. 2 on, 2 out. Beautiful curveball swung on by the designated hitter, Ben Ramirez, to make it 0-1.
I feel like something has to be said for the teams they faced. I mean, they faced a very good Wareham team, and Harwich, they are just so lights out on the mound. It's really hard to get anything going against the Mariners. Every game is low scoring.
Ramirez also from USC. His teammates on second in scoring position. Ross goes back to the curveball, gets the same result, 0-2.
All right, well, now you can go anywhere, and I would recommend against the curveball. He might be settling in for it, but I think up and in with a fastball, try to tie him up, would really pay off.
2 3-ball counts to start the game for Ross. He's up 0-2 to hitter number 5. Swings and delivers. Ground ball over to Radcliffe. He fields it himself. Underhand to Ross, who taps first base. It's a good first inning for the Commodores. The Chatham Anglers get no runs on the 1 hit. No errors for Falmouth. In fact, a highlight reel play, a diving catch for the first out of the inning by Zach DeLoach, and there are 2 runners left on base. It's 2-0 Falmouth as we head to the second inning.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Falmouth up 2-0 here at Veterans Field in Chatham. They scored 2 on the blast from Zach DeLoach out in right field. All 3 of his past home runs, because he's had 4 on the year, were to deep right field. This ball number 1 misses low to Barron Radcliffe.
I don't even know how deep that one got, though,
True.
Because of how short that fence is. The berm does pop up suddenly.
Fastball outside part of the plate for a strike. Radcliffe, who likes to take on the first couple pitches he sees, has a 1-1 count to Ty Madden, who's back working in the windup, hoping for a better inning. Fastball that's lifted high out into left field. Under it is Jamal O'Gwyn. He makes the catch, 1 down.
It's so fun watching Barron Radcliffe swing the bat because it seems like every single time he makes contact, he gives it a good ride. Even that one where he got so under it. I mean, that one was skied right off the bat, but he was still able to push it out pretty far into left field, the opposite field, because of his size.
Madden now faces Kevin Kendall, lefty from UCLA, who watches a first pitch strike.
Okay, David, I'm going to have to duck below. Unless I want to stand the whole game, I'm going to have to duck below this rail because I literally can't see their knees.
I've been doing a little back and forth action. The 0-1, fastball that skips low. That one clocking in at 94 miles an hour. So here at Veterans Field, the field is, I don't know, about 20 feet below us. So we're on an incline as this hill wraps around behind home plate. Foul ball into the screen. Really nice layout. It makes for some bleachers that lead up to us, right in front of us. We can look down onto the field. We have a pretty good angle. But there's this guardrail to prevent people from falling.
And it's like 11 feet high.
And we are sitting at a table right behind it. So I'm going standing right now. The 1-2. Hard hit into left field right at O'Gwyn. He makes the catch. Jamal O'Gwyn's been busy in left to start off the second inning. 2 down.
I think that radar gun is correct. That one says 93, and I think Ty Madden is really lighting the lamp right now because just about everybody is behind on pitches, maybe except Zach DeLoach when he pulled his home run. But that one, I mean, it looked like Kevin Kendall was swinging a 2x4. He was just, you know, really putting a lot into that to generate enough bat speed to be able to catch up to the high heat.
Brings up the leadoff man, Hayden Cantrell. He swings and misses at an 80-mile-an-hour curveball. Beautiful pitch from Madden. Cantrell singled to start off the game. It was a slow ground ball that ricocheted off the left side of the mound. Got to Jorge Arenas, who threw onto first, but Hayden beat it out. That's a foul ball that he grazes into the backstop. 0-2.
A bunch of doors are swinging at some real high pitches right now. We saw Langworthy swing and miss at a neck-high pitch, and now Cantrell is swinging at a neck-high pitch.
Cantrell in .333 average coming into the game. 3 home runs, 12 RBIs. He watches a slider low. 1-2. Singled, reached second on a pass ball, stole third, and then came in on the Zach DeLoach home run. The 2-2, low fastball. Sky now clearing up above the outfield fence. Some more daylight that we have as the sun is setting behind the trees and left. 2-2 up the middle into center field. Hayden Cantrell is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. They have a runner on and 2 down.
He now has 10 multi-hit games. That clearly leads the team, and he's got to be one of the first guys on the Cape to reach double digits in multi-hit games. I mean, the guy is just at-bat after at-bat after at-bat ever since June 10th. It is really a sight to see.
Blake Dunn struck out looking his first time up. He wants some redemption as Hayden Cantrell slides back into first on the check from Madden. Little hidden ball trick from the Anglers as Terrell faked the throw back to Madden. Cantrell stayed on first, though, when the tag was applied. So says first base umpire Ronaldo Cockrum. Madden back in the stretch, and Hayden Cantrell's going to try to steal second. Throw from the catcher onto second base. And he's in safely again. Smith to Polkovich. But Hayden Cantrell has 2 swiped bags on the evening.
Yeah, that was a bit of a skipped throw. The ball definitely beat him. I thought Hayden was going to be out even after Polkovich gathered it and slapped on the tag. But Hayden is able to slide in just ahead of it. But he got lucky on that one. It was a bad throw.
Big cut from Dunn. He comes up empty.
David, I wanted to remark on the hidden ball trick that Terrell did. If I had a nickel for every time I saw that, he tries to pull that thing off a lot. Yep, it is an Alex Terrell special. I think he's done it successfully once, at least that I've seen.
The 1-1 to Dunn. Fastball swung on and missed. Madden really getting the velo up here in the second inning. But the Doors threatening again. They already have 5 hits in the top of the second inning. Madden dangling that right hand with the ball in it between his legs. Comes in the stretch, glove at the belt, looks back to Cantrell once, twice, lifts and delivers. Ball low and away.
And he is just relying on the fastball pretty much exclusively right now, and why not? He's getting a lot of swings and misses, and right there he just reared back, tried to fire a 94-mile-an-hour heater at the knees, see if Dunn would chase. Good eye by Blake, but it's definitely tough to register.
This is already the most that Ty Madden has gotten hit around in one outing. Ball number 3 skips in the dirt as Madden falls down on the landing spot. He's slow to get up. Full count, but to my earlier point, the Commodores hit him the hardest he'd ever been hit in any outing with 4. That was in 4 innings on July 5th. He's already given up 5 hits here on this Thursday night.
Seems like every other game, Falmouth's offense is alive.
Commodores with 1 run last night, 8 the night before, 0 the night before that. The 3-2, he swivels around the mound to check on Cantrell. Nobody covering the bag between Arenas and Polkovich at the middle infield. Polkovich now shaded over closer to the bag. Madden will deliver towards home plate. Ball 4 inside. Cantrell's going to jog onto third base as it got past Brady Smith. Runners on the corners after the walk.
And Madden's starting to get a little wild. That was another fastball, one that he just wanted to fire home. Smith was not set up on that part of the plate. He was setting up outside, whereas Madden threw it inside. That's why he was able to beat Smith. It was a catchable ball, but he had to go all the way across his body, and is the reason it got past him. So right now, Ty is running into a little bit of control issues, and we'll see if the Doors can capitalize on that with 2 outs.
Got to be careful here if you're Ty Madden. Zach DeLoach, who took you yard in the first, is back up at the plate with 2 runners on. Running towards second base is Dunn. He's going to throw down to second. He's in safely.
These are close.
Smith onto Arenas. Everyone in the park thought that they got him in time. They weren't worried about Cantrell at third as he just gunned for the 3rd out. Cantrell stays put and Dunn is in safely.
Yeah, that was another bang-bang play, and I don't know. I guess he got the right hand in there just in the nick of time, but it was definitely could have gone either way, I think.
Well, the Doors have 3 stolen bases, and all of them have been close.
Yeah.
Smith has looked very solid throwing down. Now a single likely score is 2, as Dunn at second has plenty of speed. The 0-1, high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Zach DeLoach.
I don't think we've seen a breaking ball since, Baron Radcliffe was up to lead off this inning. This is really just fastball city for Ty Madden.
Madden worked 2 flyouts to start the inning. Here is a dribbler into third base. DeLoach is going to beat it out without a throw. Anthony Villar has to eat it. That's another RBI for Zach DeLoach. That's another multi-hit game for the 3-hitter. And the Doors are up 3-0.
Hey, when you're hot, you're hot. Sometimes you do it, and it's all you. You hit a 330-foot bomb into right field to score 2 runs, and sometimes you hit it 15 feet up the third base line, and it scores a run. Zach DeLoach will take it either way. It still means in the box score he's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs, and it doesn't matter how far it went or where it went. All that matters is you got the job done, and your team is leading by a trio of runs.
Moves his hit streak to 6 games. He had a 7-game hit streak before that. So now with hits in 13 of his last 14 games. Big swing from Trey Cruz, who fouls it back into the screen. No balls and a strike.
Maybe it's the speed with which Madden is throwing these fastballs, but I said it about Kevin Kendall. Cruz showed the same way. It looks like they're swinging heavier bats almost. That's how quick the ball is coming into them.
Madden moves his right foot back off the rubber, checks on DeLoach. He's already up to 43 pitches through 2 innings. The 0-1, curveball away. Keep in mind, Danny, the last 3 batters now have all reached with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a 2-out rally going on, and this is the most potent part of the lineup, so obviously top of the order, you got to be careful whenever, but they're great at hitting with 2 outs.
The 1-1 to Cruz. Fastball, tough take, but he wins the battle. It's outside. 2 balls and a strike.
I like how patient Trey is being. I mean, Madden had a lot of trouble finding the strike zone earlier this half inning, so don't give him anything. Really make him work.
Madden from the stretch. Cruz with another swing. He thought he got a hold of it, but just gets a piece and fouls it back again. Trey Cruz frustrated with himself after not connecting.
Yeah, Cruz does that every once in a while. You definitely know when he thinks that he lined one up and just missed it, because he'll show you. He was shaking his head. He was, throwing out his arms. He really wanted that one, and he nearly had it.
The 2-2. DeLoach is running. It's a curveball low. DeLoach is into second without a throw. Full count, and again, runners on second and third. Big pitch coming from Madden. He's got the glove perched on his left hip, looking into Smith. They agree. He brings the left foot back and settles. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tipped into the mitt. Trey Cruz goes down a strikeout victim. It was a big one for Ty Madden, but he gives up another run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. It's all Doors right now through 2.5.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs, Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Three 0 Falmouth as Tyler Ross circles the mound for his second inning of work. Danny, so far so good for the Doors.
Yeah, they've got 3 runs on the board. You just got to be careful with this Chatham lineup. I mean, it's only a matter of time until they start to connect with baseballs again. As we mentioned, back-to-back games where they've been shut out. So can't give them an inch, because if you give them an inch, you know, anything can happen. Especially after last night. The reason that I think they got shut out, they're facing Ian Bedell, the starter for Wareham. He leads the Cape League in ERA at .70. So they've had some tough luck in their last couple of games. Now Ross trying to make it 3 straight.
Curveball drops in for a strike to Jorge Arenas. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Chatham. Righty-righty matchup. He swats at this one. It's a high fly ball into right field. Zach DeLoach moseys on in and makes the catch.
Now batting for Chatham, the catcher.
Brings up Brady Smith. 314 average from the University of Florida. 3 doubles on the summer, 1 home run. He's been the consistent catcher for the Anglers ever since his arrival. He and Kendrick Kalalau making the trip up from Gainesville. Smith is a rising junior who batted .270 last year. He watches a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. He was the primary catcher at Florida as well. He spent his summer in Katuitt. Brief stint at the end of the year for Smith. Curveball drops in for a strike, 1-1. And he hit pretty well against his future team. Was 4 for 7 against the Anglers last year.
Didn't do Katuitt much good, but
The 1-1. Curveball that's lined up and smoked out into left field. Langworthy at the wall. It's off the scoreboard. A solo shot for Brady Smith, his second home run of the year. Chatham gets their first run. It's 3-1.
And that's why you got to be careful if you're Tyler Ross, if everything you're throwing is up in the zone. The previous pitch was a hanging curveball that came in right above the belt. And when I saw that, I thought, don't go back to that pitch. He didn't. He decided to go with a little more speed. But again, he left it about letter high. And that's the issue, is if you start missing high, then you bring it down just a little bit. Hey, then it's in the strike zone, and then it is right in the wheelhouse to just about every single hitter. And Brady Smith made no doubt about it.
Ross answers with a fastball. It's chopped over towards Radcliffe. Ross covers the bag, and the flip is made. 2 down. A little bit of a hairy play there for the second out, as Radcliffe was waiting an extra second for Ross on a ball that I thought he could have taken himself.
Probably could have, but he saw Ross busting over there. He was about to pitch it, saw Ross wasn't there in time. Barron, being a former quarterback, probably should know how to lead a receiver, shouldn't he? But it's all's well that ends well.
Anthony Villar, also from the University of Miami. Rising sophomore, gets up into the box. Ball number 1 misses away to the lefty Villar. He had a .291 average his freshman year. 5 home runs, 39 RBIs. This is a tough play for Hayden Cantrell, who fields it cleanly and throws on to first. Moved over to his right and kind of fell down to the ground when it hit his backhand. But he makes the play. A solo shot for Brady Smith is the 1 run and the 1 hit. No errors and nobody left on base. 3-1 Falmouth as we enter the third.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
So Chatham responds with their first run since Monday. It's a solo shot from Brady Smith after a 7-0 defeat last night and a 2-0 defeat the night before that. Brady Smith gets the Anglers on the board and a much-needed run. Anglers still trail by 2 as strike number 1 comes in to Taylor Smith. He singled his first time up. Now 6 hits on the summer for the righty, who will be at Grayson County College next year. Ball number 1 skips in the dirt. Looked off speed from Madden. With that bat resting above his right shoulder, he takes a hack and misses on the fastball 1 and 2.
Yeah, Smith usually has some trouble with fastballs. I've seen him strike out a lot on fastballs, usually swinging. So this is going to be a big pitch for Madden. I'm sure he's going back to the high heat.
The 1-2. It's a fastball loped into shallow right field. It's almost on the infield. Caden Polkovich makes the catch standing on the grass. 1 down. Danny, I mean this in the kindest way possible. You look ridiculous right now.
Thank you.
What's the temperature?
It's like 65.
Is it really
Feels
that warm?
like 14.
So it's a chilly, for summer standards, it is a chilly night here in Chatham. We've got our sweatshirts on as Tim Tawa shows bunt, pulls back. Did he go around? No, he did not. 1 ball and no strikes. So we, planning poorly, didn't pack any sweatshirts.
Yeah, I'm a foolish little boy who left his sweatshirt in his trunk because his mommy's not here to remind him to bring it anymore.
I forgot mine as well. Luckily, a friend was able to donate one to me. 1 ball and no strikes as a fastball. It's down the middle to even the count. And you have a blanket wrapped around you.
Yeah, like I am some hermit from
You look
Siberia.
like a nun. You really do. The 1-1 from Madden. Well high. Fastball is having trouble finding the zone right now, 2-1.
It is an Arizona State Sun Devils blanket because everybody here on the Cape is an Arizona State Sun Devil, evidently, except for us and some people on our media team. I have never been to the state of Arizona.
Likewise. 2-1, just a bit low at the shins. Another fastball from Madden that he can't put in the strike zone. Now a hitter's count to Tim Tawa.
It's just Chatham doesn't get the memo that summer is here.
Right. The 3-1. Check swing, dribbled up the first base line. Going to be a tough play for Smith to make. He's going to wait and wait and wait. It leaks foul.
Wow.
Heads up play from Brady Smith. He would not have been able to make the throw in time. So Tawa will take a long stroll back to the box with a 3-2 count.
That was about as long as you could wait for that ball to roll foul, because by the time by the time that it had gotten foul, it had stopped rolling. So It had nearly stopped on the line. But luckily, one final little push made it go foul, and Tim I'm sure would have wanted that one.
Last question I'll ask Denny: is the blanket is it working? Like, are you
Sort of, kind of. I wish it was a Snuggie so that it could actually like hug me.
Right.
But I realized that I complain about the temperature a lot.
The 3-2 fouled past the Falmouth dugout. Count stays the same.
I always give Massachusetts grief for never getting the memo that it's summer, but at the same time, I always say that I like the cold better than the heat. And I go to school in Miami, and it is unbearably hot there most of the time.
Sure. The 3-2 down the left field line and fair. Gets past Villar as Tim Tawa is digging for second base. He will get there safely. And the second double of the year for Tim Tawa. He's 2 for 2. And that was one of his best at-bats of the summer.
Yeah, that was a great at-bat, worked it long, nearly had a squib hit, but instead he gets an extra base out of it. So good for Tim, who's now 2 for 2, as you mentioned. And how about that for Tim? His second multi-hit game all summer. He was having a pretty rough go of it. Whenever he would get a hit, seems like he would go 0 for after that. But now he has gotten another multi-hit game in his ledger.
Long lead for Tawa. Dashing over is the shortstop Jorge Arenas to second base. Madden steps off the mound to look him back. No throw. Tim Tawa settling in on the base paths now after a double. Austin Langworthy's at the plate. He struck out swinging to end the first inning. Big cut. He just gets a piece. It's into the chest protector of the home plate ump, Jeff Mertzel. 0-1.
I can't believe that his name's Jeff Mertzel.
Yeah, so if you've been listening along this year and been paying attention to the umpires, which if you have, props to you. But we've seen an ump named Jeff Merzel, M-E-R-Z-E-L, quite a few times. This is Jeff Mertzel with a T between the R and the Z.
Uncanny.
Same first name. Cape Cod League umpire. Off speed, high and away to Langworthy, 1-1. On deck, Barron Radcliffe. In the hole, Kevin Kendall. This is the third of the order that did struggle their first time up, a combined 0 for 3. Madden from the stretch. He's been there a lot tonight. Long look back to Tawa. He lifts and delivers. Ball low. And Danny, we come back to it with pitchers a lot, but it seems like right now control is the issue for Madden.
Yeah, I mean, you give a guy like Langworthy or Tawa 2-0, 2-1, and then the moment you come over the strike zone, they're going to pounce because they're looking for something to hit.
2-1 is wagged. Foul. 2-2.
Maybe Langworthy a little too eager for something to hit. That looked like it was maybe going to grace the outside corner at best. Possibly could have gone outside, but not one you want to swing at less than 2 strikes. That's usually one, if you're going to take a strike, that's a good one to take because it doesn't look all that great. Can't do too much with it. But Lang, he just really wants to make contact and get on base.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball number 3 just outside. Another full count. Madden has fired now 64 pitches. 38 strikes, 26 balls. This will be pitch number 6 to Austin Langworthy. Second straight 3-ball count we've seen as well. The righty from Texas delivers. This one lifted foul again. Austin Langworthy, a rising senior with Florida. 283 his junior year. 63 hits, 12 doubles, 10 home runs. From Williston, Florida. 31st round pick out of high school, trying to get drafted after his senior year with the Gators. Another one that's going to be swatted foul to the left. All of these going to the left side of the ballpark.
Yeah, I like this approach from Langworthy right now. Those were 2 pretty tough pitches to swing at. They were too close to take, so it's good that he's swinging at them. But there's not much you can do with them because he's a pull hitter, and those are up and away fastballs. So he's getting the bat head out late, just doing enough to poke them foul so he can see another pitch.
Ball number 4, just low. 91-mile-an-hour fastball that Langworthy takes. He is aboard with 1 out.
That was a close one. Thought it was maybe a little bit inside. I thought it hit the knees, but maybe a little bit inside. But that's definitely a close call after Mertzel was given some that were in that same region. I'm sure Ty Madden is scratching his head. Why not this time?
Barron Radcliffe came up to the plate to start the second inning. You know it's a good sign for your offense when guys are getting up in back-to-back innings. Here is a hard hit, ball out to left field. It's just off the wall. Past O'Gwyn, Tim Tawa comes in to score. Austin Langworthy gunning for home. It's cut off by Villar. 2-run score on the RBI double from Barron Radcliffe. 5-1 Falmouth.
Is Barron Radcliffe getting hot? Oh my goodness, don't let this guy get hot because he will do things like that constantly. He's got great opposite field power. We've talked about that a lot this season. Showed it off there. I thought that one was going to get over the wall, but it just died short of getting over that fence. Landed at the base of the wall, but it zoomed out there. I mean, that was a heater off of his bat, and it just kept going and going and going. O'Gwyn had no shot because it just zoomed right over his head. And great read by Austin Langworthy, jumping right off of first base and being able to score from first, because that was such a hard-hit ball in a short ballpark like this. I mean, that's a pretty easy one to get thrown out at, but showed off some wheels right there, had a good read. And Barron Radcliffe, have yourself a last couple of games. He's now got 4 RBIs, I believe, now in these last 2 games.
Dennis Cook meets with Madden, as well as Smith, the catcher, and the whole infield. Dennis Cook in his second year on the Cape. He worked with Tom Holliday, the manager for the Anglers at Texas in 2003. Played for a whole host of teams in the majors. Was a reliever with the then Florida Marlins when they won the World Series. Falmouth has scored in every inning. Just 1 out. Kevin Kendall with a ground ball. Here's Barron Radcliffe dashing for third base. Heads up play by Ty Madden to get the lead runner. 2 down.
Yeah, great play by Madden. He spun around right at second base. That was just to check that Barron Radcliffe wasn't running, because at first he was about to throw towards second. He saw nobody there, and then he realized, wait, if nobody's there, gotta mean that he's going towards third. So Ty Madden going through his checkdowns, if you will, like a quarterback would, making sure that everything is ship-shape. Noticed that something was awry, and he's able to capitalize. So good job by him, and Radcliffe, just unfortunate that he made that gut reaction to go when contact was made.
So Kendall reaches on the odd 1-5 fielder's choice. Brings up the leadoff man, Hayden Cantrell. He has been up at the plate every inning.
Great sign.
Foul ball back towards us. No balls and 1 strike. But yeah, something I hit on earlier. You know it's a good sign when guys are getting up in back-to-back innings.
Right, and when Hayden Cantrell's getting up in every inning, I mean, he can easily have 9 hits in 9 at-bats. So.
Well, the top of the order came up with 2 outs in the second, and they got it all the way to the cleanup man. So hitters 1 through 3 are not done here in the third. Madden trying to get out of a jam. The 0-1 lofted well foul. Past the bullpen down the left field line for the Anglers. 0-2.
There's a parking lot behind that bullpen. So Megan drove today. Megan's our photographer. She drove today, and she thought that was the only parking lot, and there was no space, and she was going to take a space like right behind the bullpen. I told her, do not do that. Your car will
so
lose
you saved
the
her is what you're saying.
I'm pretty much a hero at this point.
No balls, 2 strikes to Hayden Cantrell. It skips in the dirt just past Brady Smith, but it's out to his right, so staying put Kevin Kendall at first. Feels like Falmouth's offense has not let their foot off the gas pedal. 5 runs on 8 hits. We are just in the top of the 3rd inning.
8 hits, jeez. It's only been, what, 1 walk, I think, for Madden, or none? Yeah,
I believe 1, yeah.
Only 1 walk,
2,
wow.
2. Here's a ground ball over to Arenas at short, onto the lead runner to get Kevin Kendall at second base. The Doors add another 2 on another 2 hits. No errors for Chatham, and they leave 1 runner stranded. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. It is 5-1 Falmouth on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
I want you to screw that up so bad. Just once. But you haven't. You're perfect.
Thanks. I'll do it. I'll screw it up for you.
Thanks. Falmouth Commodores with a 4-run lead entering the bottom of the third inning. Tyler Ross from the windup delivers a curveball low. Good pitch to Caden Polkovich, who's up for his second time tonight. Flew out to right field in the first inning, if you can call it that. It was a diving play by Deloach to rob Polkovich of what might have been a double. Strike one at the belt, 1-1.
Yeah, if Zach Deloach is not an all-star, I will riot. He's
got it. I mean,
he's leading the Cape in average, and he's just like all 5 tools are very much on display all season long.
Ball 2 is low to Polkovich. I think I'd be shocked if he wasn't an all-star.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's pretty much a lock in that category. I think, Danny, you got to start talking about him as a possible league MVP.
Yeah.
2 balls and a strike, misses high. We saw last year, regular season MVP Matthew Barefoot of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks plays for Campbell University. Following him in the playoffs was Austin Shenton from FIU. Ball 4 misses away, so Polkovich is on with a leadoff walk. He played for Wareham and was key in their championship in 2018.
And surprise, surprise, there's the 2 guys who led the Cape in average in the season and the postseason. But more importantly, I mean, for Deloach's own development, is he's impressing these scouts with all 5 tools. Like I said, he's showing off his power now with 4 home runs. He's obviously got the contact. The fielding is down. He's got a little bit of speed with a couple stolen bases.
Cooper Davis watches a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Zach Deloach quickly making a case for one of the best pro prospects on this team, if not in the league. He will be entering his junior year at Texas A&M. Bunt attempt is popped foul over the screen. Not often you see a bunt attempt go that far.
Chuck the bat.
No balls and 2 strikes now to Cooper Davis. Davis, a 2019 national champion with Vanderbilt. He and Hugh Fisher made the trip from Omaha after Game 3 against Michigan, in which they won, to the Cape. Swinging into center field, it's good for a base hit. Holding up at second base is Polkovich, and that's another hit for Cooper Davis. He's been on base both times that he's been up tonight.
His top of the order is pretty dangerous for Chatham. Cooper Davis, a central part of it. I mean, this guy has been getting on base ever since he got to the Cape. This now, every single game he's played, he's gotten on base. And then you got Jamal O'Gwyn, who's the team leader in RBIs, who it's been a while since he's gotten an RBI, so you got to think that it's only a matter of time. And this game is still very much within reach. It's only 5-1, so you got to be careful if you're Tyler Ross.
And it is only the third inning.
Yeah.
Feels like later than that, as we are nearly an hour into this game.
Right, I forgot it starts at 7, so the sun sets earlier, so it kind of throws you off.
Jamal O'Gwyn moves out of the way of a inside ball. Ross with a 3.75 ERA entering this game. Last time out, 5 innings of work against Chatham 6 days ago. This is the 4th of 4 road games for the Commodores in this week. 1-0 is looped foul into the Commodores bullpen. 1-1. But it feels like it's been a long week, and the Commodores have been all over the place.
Yeah. Well, the road trips help. They literally have been all over the place. And then statistically, they've been all over the place. You touched on it a couple innings ago where every other game is just radically different. You go from being shut out to scoring 8 runs to scoring 1 run to now being on top of Chatham 5-1.
1-1, stopped in the dirt by Taylor Smith. That's a ball. Commodores hoping to go 2-2 in their last 4 before they head home tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, the Commodores will face off against the Braves and hope to get revenge for that thrashing they got on Monday. The 2-1. High fly ball into right field. Deloach is under it. Polkovich is thinking about tagging. He holds up. 1 down.
If the Zach Deloach, schmooze fest wasn't long enough, he's also got an absolute rocket attached to his right shoulder. I mean, that arm can put anybody out, so no matter where he's from. We've seen some darts from deep in right field. That was very shallow right field. Polkovich probably wouldn't be running, even if anybody else was playing out in right field. But still, Deloach being out there makes it so much riskier if you want to tag up from any base, because he can, and other teams know this. We've seen other teams, they try to run on the left fielder as opposed to the right fielder when Deloach is out there.
Terrell pokes one back foul. He singled his first time up into center field. And one of the best offensive putouts, or defensive putouts, I should say, I saw last year from an outfielder was Matt Wallner here at Veterans Field. He had a ball that he fielded at about the warning track, caught the runner trying to tag up to third base. Hard hit line drive into right field. Deloach comes up gunning towards home plate, cut off by Baron Radcliffe. So Polkovich will score. It's the second run of the game for Chatham to make it 5-2 on the single from Terrell.
Yeah, Terrell, he's really putting together a good game now. 2 for 2 with 2 line drive singles. That's the most important thing. He's such a power-hungry guy, loves those home runs, that usually he's got a big uppercut, which lends itself to swinging through a lot of pitches. Instead, he lines both these pitches up really well in the first and in the third. In the third, it brings home a run. Baron Radcliffe cutting that ball off from Deloach. I was just saying how Deloach has a great arm. That was another great throw. Probably wouldn't have had Polkovich coming home. He's got a lot of speed. There's a reason he bats leadoff. Probably a good idea that Radcliffe cut it off, but it would have been a play.
Strike 1 to Ben Ramirez, who was a ground-out victim to end the first inning. That's the first RBI for Terrell since June 29th.
Yeah, it's been a while for him.
First multi-hit game of the summer for Terrell. Ground ball over to Radcliffe. He boots it at first. Down the right field line, holding up at third base is Cooper Davis. But reaching on the error is Ben Ramirez. Bases are juiced for Chatham.
Still only 1 out, so if you're Tyler Ross, you pretty much got to hope for a ground ball or a strikeout here. There's not much else that you can do. A fly ball will definitely bring home a run. Davis has a little bit of speed. It's pretty much ground ball is the ideal situation right here, and hope that your fielders can help you out, because that could have been a very valuable second out. You are facing towards the bottom of the lineup, which helps, but this Chatham lineup's so equal across 1 through 9. They've definitely got one of the most talented rosters. You got to be careful with everybody.
Jorge Arenas will try to bring in a couple runs. Swings at the first pitch, gets underneath it. Foul back towards the other parking lot. Out back and to the right here at Veterans Field. Flag waving out in center. Again, a short fence here in Chatham. A grand slam from Arenas would tie this game. Excuse me. Would put Chatham in the lead. Bouncing ball blocked by Smith. 1-1. On deck, Brady Smith, who has gone yard. He had a solo shot in the second.
So how about this for Jorge? 305 average coming into today, but no home runs and only 5 RBIs. So he definitely has the capacity to bring home runs. I mean, he gets hits more frequently than most guys, but just hasn't done it so far this season.
Fastball low and away. Ross in a jam, trying to stop the bleeding. He's got the glove perched on his left shoulder. Settles, looks back to second, lifts his left leg and delivers. Low swing from Jorge Arenas. Fouled back 2-2.
He's lining these up pretty well. Looks like the entire Angler lineup is seeing the ball well right now from Ross. They've made the adjustment. They're starting to put together more and more hits. We've seen 2 this inning, and it looks like it's bleeding down the roster.
The 2-2, Arenas wagging the bat above his right shoulder. It's down the right field line, looping foul. That's where it'll land. Runners will head back to their bases. Davis at third, Terrell at second, Ramirez at first.
Hey, like I said, Arenas had that one registered early, just couldn't get the bat head around in time. It was a 92-mile-an-hour heater up in the zone. Could have been a lot worse than just a foul ball. Even could have been worse than a ground ball up the line that was fair, because, I mean, that one was right about in the wheelhouse for Arenas, but just quick enough that Ross was able to get him to be late.
That was pitch number 50, 30 strikes, 20 balls. The 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Big K from Tyler Ross, 2 down.
Yeah, it's a huge strikeout. I think Arenas just a little bit antsy. Ross, knowing that on 2-1 he got Arenas to swing at a low pitch. It was a pitch that was well below the knees. It was a fastball. He swung through it. So Tyler thought, hey, let me go back down there and try my hand again at it. And he's able to get away with it. Good block by Taylor Smith as well to make sure that no runs could score in any cheeky fashions.
But Brady Smith, the righty catcher, who went yard off Smith his first at-bat, comes up to the plate. He represents the leading run for the Anglers. First pitch, swung on and missed. 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Ross.
Yeah, Ross kind of just calling upon his talent right now to get the job done. He's being a lot less methodical and a lot more just pitch and catch.
Ross with a 4.14 ERA his freshman year down in Tuscaloosa with the Crimson Tide. Had a 1-3 record in 37 innings. Kicks and delivers. Just misses. Not sure where, 1-1.
Yeah, probably a little bit outside. We're a little off center, so don't have the best angle, but I thought it was close.
Falmouth leads 5-2. They want to keep it that way. Smith swings the bat around his ankles and back above his right shoulder. The 1-1 swung on and missed. Tyler Ross gets a big second strike, and he's right now firing that fastball in the low to mid-90s.
And it's pretty much been exclusively fastball, so it started to work against Arenas, and he's deciding, let me keep going to it. But now with 2 strikes, might not want to go back to it. Smith may be ready for it.
Anglers have scored 1 here in the third, but they want more as they trail by 3. Ross with a look back to Terrell at second. Here's another foul ball. 1-2. That was a fastball again. Cade Cabanas stands on deck. Anglers will try to push it to him from Oklahoma State. For right now, it's the Gator. SEC matchup between pitcher and batter, the 1-2. 84-mile-an-hour changeup again, swung on and fouled.
I got to credit Brady Smith. He's really putting together a good at-bat. He's locked into just about all these pitches. He's reacting well to them. And he's wasting away a couple of real good pitches to try to force one that finds the zone.
Smith had his second home run of the summer in the second inning. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 3. The heat upstairs from Tyler Ross. He strikes out back-to-back batters with the bases loaded. The Anglers add 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error for the Doors, and they leave 3 left on base. It's 5-2 as we are 1/3 of the way through this game. We'll be back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
This is you.
Welcome back to Veterans Field for the top of inning number 4. Daniel LaRose joined alongside David Korzenowski on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Falmouth Commodores currently leading the Chatham Anglers 5-2. And 5 runs on 8 hits means that the starter, Ty Madden, is going to be bounced from this ball game in favor of the left-handed pitcher, Jack Owen. Bunt laid down by Blake Owen as that one is right up the first base line. Transfer from Owen to first, nothing doing. Blake Dunn, how about that? Immediately getting Jack Owen off the mound and getting a hit.
Yeah, well, Jack Owens had a tough go of it to start the summer. He has appeared in 2 games. He's pitched 4 1/3. He's got an 0-2 record. Each game that he has appeared in, he has gotten tabbed with the loss. Most recently, Danny, on July 5th against Falmouth, he pitched 2 1/3, gave up 1 earned run. That was the walk-off in the 7th.
He was pretty darn good for the first about 2 innings. Now a bunt is being shown by Deloach, but he pulls back and takes a strike. And if Zach Deloach is bunting, I will be furious. Can't have this guy bunt. I mean, he's too good. Blake Dunn with a sizable lead off of first base. He's got plenty of speed. Now 1 for 2 after walking in his second plate appearance. Owen already from the stretch comes home with a fastball that misses just off the outside corner. Significantly less speed from Jack Owen than we saw from Ty Madden. That fastball only about 89. Does have a vast repertoire of pitches, has a curveball, slider, and changeup that he can opt for. There's a fastball again. It's popped out into shallow right field. That's going to be a tough play. Sliding, unable to make the grab as it rolls away from the right fielder, Cabanis. Blake Dunn gets into second base thanks to the ball rolling away. Cabanis was tracking, finally slid, and still couldn't get it.
So the last 2 hits that Deloach has gotten off of Jack Owen were both into right field. One was in the 7th inning with runners on first and second. Scored the game-winning run, and Cabanis was also in right. That one was a much tougher play for the right fielder, moving to his right and sliding in. I think he just misjudged how I don't want to say softly, but how shallow that ball was going to land.
Yeah, I mean, by the time he slid, it was already dropping. It was pretty tough. He had to have been, I guess, faster to get to it in the first place. First pitch to Trey Cruz, who's now batting from the right side, is taken outside for a ball. So Zach Deloach improves to 3 for 3. Very well could be 1 for 3. But you know what? The rich just keep getting richer. Batting 1,000 in this ball game thanks to a couple of a squib hit and then a bloop hit. 2 ducks on the pond for Cruz and already double-digit hits for the Doors, and we're only in the 4th. Cruz spanks this one up the third base line, but it dives just foul.
So Deloach with 3 hits just in the top of the 4th inning. That is now his 7th game this year with 3 hits or more.
That's unreal. How many multi-hit games? Is he up to Cantrell yet?
He has 1 more, so he has 8.
Okay. That pitch misses just outside, 2-1. So Hayden Cantrell still has him beaten.
Correct.
In that department.
But of his 8 multi-hit games, he's only hit 2 hits in 1. game.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? So if he's getting a multi-hit game, he's probably hitting 3 instead of.
Yeah, and a couple times where he's gotten 4. Am I wrong?
He had 4 once. Yeah.
Okay. 2-1 to Cruz as he lines that one past Anthony Villar into left field. Dunn is going to have to hold up at third base as it was right into the awaiting glove of O'Gwyn, but it was another frozen rope in the infield. Villar couldn't get to it, and the bases are now loaded thanks to 3 consecutive singles.
Well, that's one that I thought for sure was bound to happen in this game. Trey Cruz has been swinging such a good bat, Danny. In the first inning, he had a hard hit line drive over to third that was snatched by Villar. In the second, he worked a long at-bat but ended up striking out. He had a couple foul balls, remember, that he almost lined up and took for a ride. Cruz coming off back-to-back 2-hit games, 2 for 4 against Katuitt, 2 for 4 with an RBI against Hyannis.
And here comes big bad Taylor Smith, who is just an extra base machine. First pitch to the righty catcher is cut on and missed, a fastball at 89. But he, of his, 6 hits now on the year? 5 hits on the year? No, 6. I'm right.
Yep.
6 hits on the year. 5 of them are extra bases. 3 of them went over the wall.
He had a grand slam against Brewster on July 2nd.
He could have another one here against Chatham as he checks his swing at that pitch. Check down to first. Yes, he did go around. Now it's 0-2. And he can't be thinking grand slam at this point.
Right, he's got to shorten the swing, just protect with 2 strikes. First swing was a home run hack. Second swing, he just broke the wrists as he tried to hold up.
Owen from the stretch delivers the 0-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. That one was a close one. Saw it called a ball against Langworthy, but this time it's called a strike against Smith as he goes down looking.
That's a big strikeout for Owen, trying to get the confidence up after 3 straight singles to hitters 2, 3, and 4. They have been so good. Really the whole top of the order, hitters 1 through 4 for the Commodores tonight.
Tyler Ross in the bottom of the 3rd inning faced bases loaded, struck out back-to-back batters to get out of the jam. Owen would have to strike out 3 straight, but he's got 1 down. But Tawa lines this into left field, and that one's going to fall for a hit. The merry-go-round will be in motion as a run comes in. Everybody else stops at the succeeding base, and the Commodores now lead 6-2.
How about Tawa and Deloach going tit for tat? Both 3 for 3. Both have 2 singles. Deloach with a double in the 3rd. Deloach with a home run in the 1st. These guys are playing unreal. The Commodores already with 12 hits. It's the top of the 4th.
Yeah, this is a real hit parade of epic proportions. And I said it a couple times, but I was just waiting for Tim to start making contact. He has not, or excuse me, start getting hits. He's been making contact. He's been making good contact. Just hadn't been finding outfield grass. Austin Langworthy, who is much the same category, swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it away. Langworthy has been striking out a little bit more frequently. There was a time where he didn't have strikeouts in a little while. He was a guy who started off the summer striking out pretty much every 3rd at bat. Then he went on a stretch of a couple games in a row without Ks. Now he's back to striking out a little bit more, but he's still making pretty solid contact, just not getting the ball to drop. Lefty-lefty matchup between these two SEC foes. Auburn versus Florida. We've heard that one before in big moments. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball that goes to the opposite side of the ballpark.
So right now he's fouling off a ton of pitches in his last couple at bats in particular, and all of them to the left side. I don't know if that means he's just a little late on the fastball, still a little underneath the ball, Danny. We see him pop the ball up quite a bit.
I mean, I've always noticed with him that he's got a long looping swing. So it shows that, you know, a little bit slower than most other guys, but it's also kind of, you know, a home run swing without the maybe ferocity of a home run hack. He's always had that kind of arc to his swing, which maybe lends itself to fouling away pitches opposite field. Right now, he's down 0-2, so at the very least, he just wants to put one into play and not on the ground. Infield is back at double play depth. The pitch. Just a hair inside.
He's working long counts, though, Daddy. Fouling off a bunch of pitches that he sees in and around the zone. And then watching the balls when they come, which has not been very often so far from Jack Owen.
The 1-2. Breaking ball up high. Commodores lead 6-2. They have 1 run in this inning, but it could be many more as the bases have been loaded for pretty much the entirety of it. Here's the 2-2. Again, misses way upstairs.
So another full count worked by Langworthy, just like in the 3rd inning. He drew a walk from the starter, Ty Madden.
A walk right here would mean an RBI. I'm sure he'd take it. The payoff pitch from Owen. Outside, ball 4. Austin Langworthy takes a couple of really close pitches, sandwiched around 2 that were way outside, and he will reach first base and get himself an RBI without swinging the bat.
Not bad from Austin Langworthy, who keeps the runs coming for Falmouth. They've now scored 2 in 3 innings. And then they had the 1 in the 2nd. Now 7 runs and 12 hits for Falmouth.
First pitch to the left-handed swinging Baron Radcliffe is a curveball way outside. Radcliffe is starting to catch some fire. He now has hits in 3 of his last 4 games. Is seeing that batting average that was just a couple days ago at 125 really start to skyrocket. The 1-0 goes up high for a fastball, comes up empty. He wanted that one.
Well, he knows, I think, that he shouldn't have swung at that pitch. That was a pitch above the letters. High fastball that looked juicy coming out of the hand of Owen. But he goes upstairs with the swing. No chance to really make contact on that pitch.
Here's the 1-1. That one does catch the outside corner. Late call by Mertzel, but Baron Radcliffe now facing a 1-2 count. Radcliffe had a 2-run double back in the 3rd. That now makes it back-to-back multi-RBI games for him. His first multi-RBI game was last game. Breaking ball, just a little high.
Another tough take from Radcliffe. The door is really working Owen as they did his last time out.
Yeah, he has not really had much success against the Commodores. Pitched pretty well the last time, but of course he got the loss. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, foul.
And you don't want to think too big if you're Falmouth, but us broadcasters can think big if we want. With a 314 porch out in right field and a guy who's been hitting the ball hard as of late, this is a really good opportunity with the bases loaded for him to explode. He already had a double in the 3rd inning.
Here's another try at the 2-2, and he gets underneath that one and puts it into deep right center field. Cabanis is back, and that ball's out of here. Up onto the grass in right center. Baron Radcliffe doing exactly what David was just saying as he unloads for a grand slam, his first home run of the summer, and the Commodores now have an 11-3 lead.
Batting the helmets as Radcliffe, Langworthy, Tawa, and Cruz head back to the dugout. 6 runs in the 4th inning, all off of Jack Owen. They have 13 hits on the night. And Radcliffe, again, a great opportunity for him because Owen was desperate to find the zone. He had thrown a 3-ball count to Austin Langworthy. And then Radcliffe, again, seeing pitches well. He's got tons of power. Finally lines one up and puts it out of here.
First pitch is a strike to Kevin Kendall as the bases are now cleared. Pardon me, it's 11-2 in favor of Falmouth, not 11-3, but regardless, it is a very big lead. 0-2 quickly the count.
I can't believe this is just the 4th inning, too.
They put up 5 hits in this inning alone.
Right.
Here's the 0-2 from Owen. He just gets a piece, does Kendall, grounds it foul.
Still just 1 out here in the 4th. I mean, Owen is not at a dodge by any stretch.
They've scored multiple runs in 3 of the 4 innings played so far. 2 runs in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, now 6th here in the 4th. 0-2 is swung on and missed. Big looping curveball at only 73 miles an hour, and Kevin Kendall goes down on strikes.
The second baseman, number 5, Hayden Cantrell.
Well, a little bit of a tough night for Kendall. He's the only Commodore to not get a hit or draw a walk. We saw Austin Langworthy draw 2 walks. He's 0 for 1. Kendall 0 for 3.
First pitch to Cantrell. He grounds it over towards short. That one is fielded cleanly, and a great scoop by Alex Terrell, the first baseman, to make sure that Cantrell goes down. The Falmouth Commodores do get 3 outs finally. They bat around in order. They put 6 runs across home plate thanks to 5 hits marked off by a Baron Radcliffe grand slam. No errors charged against Chatham, but what does it matter at this point? Nobody left on base. We head into the bottom of the 4th. It's 11-2 in favor of the Doors.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
We welcome you back to Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. And before we get into game action for the bottom of the 4th, I want to talk a little bit about Blake Dunn. He led off the 4th inning with a single, of course, came around to score because just about everybody came around to score in that half inning. And our own Katie Florio, the 3rd member of our broadcast team, our sideline reporter, is on hand to fill us in a little bit on Blake's homecoming of sorts with his parents in town.
Thanks, Danny. And as we all know, this is the premier summer league. It's an honor for these players from all across the country to come to the Cape and play here. So it's extremely special when their parents have the opportunity to come up here and watch their sons play. I talked to Bill Dunn, Blake's dad, before the game. He's from Michigan, but he's already had the opportunity to get up here a few times. He said not only is this such a great honor for Blake, but what makes it even more special is the bond that he is forming with all of his teammates. I've had many of them tell me already that they will for sure keep in touch with each other once this summer is over.
Thank you, Katie. So Blake Dunn has had his dad in town for a lot of these ball games over the summer. I think this is now the 3rd time that Bill Dunn has been in town, and just about every time he has been one of the loudest fans in the ballpark as ball 1 misses low from Tyler Ross. Cade Cabanis is at the plate, but I'm sure, David, you can attest to this, that Bill Dunn, when he's here, Cabanis floats this into right field. Deloach tracks it down, a line out to start us off. That when Bill Dunn is in the crowd and Blake's at the plate or Blake gets a hit, he's the loudest guy in the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, he's a great guy, extremely friendly. So I have a personal story getting to meet the Dunn family. He and really the whole extended Dunn family come into the breakfast restaurant that I work at all the time. And the first time I saw him, he was wearing a Western Michigan shirt. That's how I kind of knew. I was like, there's not many people in Falmouth who are wearing Western Michigan gear.
First pitch to Anthony Villar is bounced foul into the Falmouth dugout. That was a little bit of a bullseye from Villar. 0-1 regardless.
But I started talking to him, and he's just extremely friendly. He's also here all the time. I think this is his 3rd trip out.
0-1 fastball hits the inside corner.
But just very approachable, and you can tell that just, like, he's happy to be here. You know, like, he's excited to be here watching his son on Cape Cod. It's pretty special.
The 0-2 from Ross, up and away. I called it a homecoming. I mean, this obviously isn't Blake's home, but it almost feels like it is, just the way he gets along with everybody and the fact that his parents are always here. Yeah. It's got to be one of the best, environments to be in for him. 1-2 from Ross is outside again.
There's a certain amount of summer ball that we can't quite describe, or no matter how long we're on the air or how many things or videos or social media hits you see, you can't really do it all justice until you're here experiencing it.
2-2 fastball just sits low. Taylor Smith had popped up out of his crouch, ready to go around the horn over towards third base, but no punch-out was made by Mertzel, and the count will run full.
And nights like this are when you really feel it, Danny, right?
Yeah.
It's like an 11-2 game, sure, but foul ball back into the screen. But a beautiful night, a great crowd on hand as Veterans Field is tops in the Cape League in attendance. New scoreboard, the lights are on. You know, there's some big names in the crowd, family, friends, vacationers alike.
Another payoff pitch from Ross. Upstairs for ball 4. Probably upset that he didn't get a strikeout called on 2-2, but he is unable to bounce back, and Anthony Villar will reach thanks to a walk.
Yeah, long at bat, and a good one worked by Villar. Took a couple close pitches as Ross was trying to strike out his third of the night. He had 2 big Ks with the bases loaded in the third, Danny, which maybe we glossed over a little bit due to the offense that we've seen.
High fly ball into right field, but that one drifting foul. Came off the bat of Caden Polkovich. Good sign for Anthony Villar, though. He was second on Miami's team in walks in the spring, then had no walks since July 2nd. He has been getting out a lot lately. Now 2 for his last 24. Had 5 strikeouts in his last 8 at-bats entering tonight, but now gets on base thanks to a couple of close pitches just off the plate. 0-1 the count to Polkovich. He's 0 for 1, but walked and scored his last time up. Pops that one up now towards the other side of the ballpark. 0-2 now the count.
He's getting ahead of the leadoff man, Polkovich, who worked the first walk of the third inning. Anglers now in a huge hole. They do have a long time to come back, but got to start chipping away.
The 0-2 is a fastball that misses well outside. Well, Tyler Ross has been set up in a pretty admirable position. I mean, he's allowed a run in each of the last 2 innings. 2 runs on 4 hits. Not too shabby, especially when you've got a 9-run cushion to work with. 1-2 the count. Ross from the stretch, kicks and fires home. Ground ball over towards Radcliffe. He fields it just foul. Came on that one quickly, hoping that he would be able to get the out. Instead, Ross will have to throw another pitch to Polkovich.
Danny, I want to go back to pregame. You said get ahead early and make sure that Ross is pitching well. They're doing both.
They listened.
They listened.
Well, we asked Jackson Coots what he thought the key would be to winning this game. Here's another 1-2, and it misses. Nope, it does not miss because going around is Polkovich. It was a big looping curveball well in the dirt, but Polkovich goes around on the check swing. He goes down as now the 3rd strikeout for Tyler Ross.
Ross is looking great. He's really hitting his stride here in these 3rd and 4th innings. Now struck out 3 of the last 5 batters he's faced, and it could have been 4 with Villar.
So now 2 outs and a runner on first. Ross comes home with the first pitch, fastball that misses outside to Cooper Davis, who's reached base in both his appearances. But as I was saying, Jackson Coots, we asked him, what do you think the key is to winning this game? And he said, one of those, of course, sarcastic answers, just score more than the other team. But then he started to get a little serious, and he was like, well, we just got to score a lot of runs really often. and that's exactly what's happened. 1-0. Flown out towards the left side. Will this stay playable for Tim Tawa as he will lunge back and unable to make the grab, overran the foul ball. Had to jump backwards, but it just grazed off the end of his mitt, and it falls in foul territory.
Tough play for Tawa. We've seen that sometimes where either left field or third base has a long way to run. They get there, but then they actually overrun the ball because they have so much speed.
So Davis gets away with that one as the count will now go to 1-1. Mississauga, Ontario native and a lefty against the righty Ross watches that pitch graze the outside black. How about this for Cooper Davis? He is the first Vanderbilt Commodore to be from Canada.
Yeah. I was going to take a crack at the pronunciation of his hometown, but I thought against it.
1-2 is upstairs. You clearly don't watch as much hockey as I do.
Let me try.
I just said it.
Mississauga, right?
Yeah, Mississauga.
That's actually not as bad as it looks.
No, lot of hockey players from there. Big suburb of Toronto. But Cooper swinging the bat since an early age, and it's been doing well for him as he watches that breaking ball miss above the letters. Full count now.
The third Chatham Angler from Chatham as well.
From Canada?
Oh, jeez. Words are hard.
That'd be interesting if there was a Chatham Angler from Chatham. There's a Katuitt Kettleer from Katuitt.
There is.
Payoff pitch, breaking ball, on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Late call from Mertzel, but we've gotten used to that. Tyler Ross now works back-to-back strikeouts to cap off this inning, just like he did the third. Chatham scores no runs on no hits, no errors against the doors, and 1 runner left on base. To the top of the 5th we go. 11-2 your score in favor of Falmouth.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20 plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Blake Dunn is going to lead off the top of the 5th inning for us here at Veterans Field in Chatham. 11-2 in favor of the Commodores. Still Jack Owen on the mound for the Anglers as a first pitch is fouled away by Dunn.
This is exactly how the 4th inning started with Blake Dunn at the plate. The Commodores batted around. And bats are back and active here tonight.
Dunn swings at that pitch. He also fouls that one away, so it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to the Bronco from Western Michigan. In 1 inning of work, Jack Owen allowed 6 runs on 5 hits. I don't know if his ERA is going to correct itself. He's going to have to have a lot more appearances in half a season. Another foul ball from Dunn. This one might stay fair. Terrell is going after it, but no, it will settle 10 feet beyond the fence into the crowd.
This is now the 4th at-bat for Dunn. Cantrell's already had 4 at-bats. I mean, Commodore's showing no signs of stopping right now, and I think the bats, you might look at last night and say, oh, 1 run. The bats were asleep. They had 7 hits. It was by no means a poor offensive showing. It was just the fact that they left 9 runners left on base and they couldn't get the hits in a row or in the same inning. They were kind of scattered around. But tonight, I mean, the exact opposite. Batting nearly everybody home.
The 0-2 from Owen comes on the inside corner to Blake Dunn. Strike 3 called. Good frame job by Brady Smith to lure the call from Mertzel.
And then if you look at the night before against Hyannis, they scored 8 runs. And had a great night out at McKeon Park. They had 14 hits in that game.
I mean, that's also characteristic of a lot of their games early in the season, too. There are only a handful where you can say, yeah, nobody was really getting on base.
Sure.
But there have been plenty of games where they were getting a ton of hits, just not the hits with runners on. As a first pitch curveball drops in on the outside block to Zach Deloach. He's 3 for 3, looking to make it 4 for 4 before we even get through half a ball game. Owen working quickly. Here's the 0-1, another looping curve, and this time it's swung on and fouled back.
Righty warming in the pen for Falmouth. I believe it's Caleb Worster. A little bit of a long distance between us and the Falmouth pen, but that's what I think is going to be the key and what has been inconsistent these past 3 games, Danny, has been the bullpen. Because if you look at last night, Weatherly, not with a great outing, neither did Shane Drohan.
0-1 is lined over towards left field, and that one's going to fall for a hit, tucking itself just inside the line. Little trouble over there out and left, so no throw going to come in as Zach Deloach has a stand-up double after O'Gwyn couldn't pick it up cleanly.
And a triple away from the cycle in the 5th inning. Are you kidding me?
He's got like 4 more at-bats to go at this pace.
This is insane. 4 for 4. A home run, a double, 2 runs scored, 2 singles. The guy is a machine. 391 average, and he goes 4 for 4 tonight in the 5th inning.
It's
hard. 5th inning.
It's hard to keep up a 391 pace, and he is going beyond that.
I mean, he could be plus 400 by the end of tonight.
First pitch to Trey Cruz is cut on and missed. Went with a fastball only at 87. Owen doesn't have lights-out speed, and he really relies on his breaking pitches. Mentioned how he's got a vast repertoire of pitches, but none of them have been very effective. Just about all of them have been getting tattooed. Here's the 0-1. That one misses low. Seems like every day is a day to remember for Zach DeLoach.
Yeah.
And I mean,
so that's his second 4-hit game. He had a 4-for-4 day against Yarmouth Dennis in game 1 of the doubleheader back on the 23rd of June.
1-1 count to Trey Cruz. Here's the pitch. Downstairs yet again.
And something that's important for Chatham right now, and I think, and Falmouth as well, this goes for any team on the Cape League. With all of those rainouts in July, I know it's summer ball and you're going to use a lot of arms, but you've got to preserve the arms in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Because if you get blown out in a game and you're using 5 or 6 pitchers, it can hurt you in the next 3 games.
2-1 is fouled away over the Falmouth dugout, out of play.
Because the Commodores, for example, 32 games in 31 days, they still have tied for the fewest games played in the Cape League, so they still have some catching up to do. Chatham with not much of an easier schedule. So July is kind of a grind for these players, and when you're getting hit for 12 runs or 10-plus runs and you're using a handful of arms, it's going to hurt you, and I think that's why Owen hasn't gotten the leash yet.
2-2 the count. Owen from the stretch misses low with a curveball, and I was just looking over some of Owen's stats, and he threw 68 2/3 innings of work this past season at Auburn, and he missed 5 weeks because of shoulder tendonitis. So that's still a big workload for a guy who missed about a month of the season, a little over a month of the season, and now he's on the Cape, and he's got some mop-up duty to do, so he's still throwing. Here's the pitch. That is roped into center field, but it will stay up long enough for a catch to be made. A little bit of a hop step from Cooper Davis as he reeled that one in, but he had it lined up perfectly, and Trey Cruz annihilated the baseball, but right into the awaiting mitt.
I like what I'm seeing from Trey Cruz, Danny. He's swinging a really good bat at the plate. 1 for 4 tonight. But basically all 3 of his outs have not come easily.
Here comes Taylor Smith, who's 1 for 3, had his first single of the year in his first at-bat, then was quietly put down on a pop-out and a strikeout. First pitch to the catcher, nabs the inside corner. Owen came into this ball game with an 8.31 ERA. He might have the last ERA after this.
Yeah.
Did have 4 1/3 innings of work before tonight. Here's a ground ball up the left side, but foul. Remember, he was a late add because his team went all the way to Omaha. So he's been a pretty recent fixture into this Chatham bullpen, and it's been a very rocky start.
Yeah, that'll be 10-plus after tonight's game. He's just trying to make it through 2 full innings.
He's got a runner on second to work around right here. The pitch misses just a little bit low. Count now a ball and 2 strikes to Smith. If Owen can get Smith down without anything happening with DeLoach on second base, this would be the first inning tonight in which Falmouth does not score a run. The 1-2. Outside.
They have also, the Commodores that is, put at least 6 batters up to the plate in every inning.
Gosh. Part of the reason why Taylor Smith, who's batting 6th, is now having his 4th at-bat, not even halfway through the ball game. Owen comes set with that glove perched at his belly button, lifts the right leg and comes home, and nearly hits Smith with a fastball as he dances out of the way. Count now full.
And I'm seeing a lot of 3-ball counts from Chatham. I mean,
Yeah.
Madden had the same thing, Owen as well.
Tyler Ross has hit his fair share of 3-ball counts, but he's been able to work more strikeouts more often than not. DeLoach with a lead off second, nobody holding him on. Payoff pitch to Taylor Smith. Half swing and a miss as he goes down, a swinging strikeout victim this time around. Couldn't commit on the outside fastball, but he went too far around anyway. The first inning in which the Doors go scoreless. They do have a hit. No errors charged against Chatham, and a runner left on second base. To the home half of the 5th we go. It's 11-2.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Bottom 5 we go from Chatham, Massachusetts. It's 11-2 in favor of the Commodores, so far so good, David. Heart of the order will lead off for Chatham to try to chip away at this near insurmountable deficit.
Do we want to look at the pace for the game?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Let's do it. Let me do some quick math. 20, 11, 4, 3.
You got this.
About 25 to 7.
Okay.
25 to 5. 25 to 5.
25
Final
to
answer.
5. So not even a football score.
No.
But
that's a really lopsided lacrosse score.
I like that. I like that. Potential for a very lopsided lacrosse score here in Chatham, as long as the Doors can continue to put up, 11 runs through the next half of the game.
Yeah, this is a beatdown right now, and we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Commodores. It is Aiden Maldonado from Illinois. Because why stretch Ross at this point? You have no reason to. An 8-run lead, get some guys some more reps. Maldonado's been a solid reliever for Falmouth this summer.
I'm actually surprised that they're bringing in Maldonado just because he's been so solid. I mean, the fact that he's come into some pretty close games, gotten some decisions in them, gotten some wins because he's pitched so well, and they're going to Maldonado in more of a mop-up role is kind of surprising to me.
2-1 record for the righty, 3 ERA on the nose, 9 innings of work, and he's really, really settled down his command. First outing of the year, we saw him walk 2 and strike out none in 2/3 of an inning. He hasn't allowed a walk since.
Also has multiple strikeouts and now 3 straight appearances. His last appearance, he went 3 strong against Harwich in a 3-2 win. He didn't get the win, but the Doors did thanks to a walk-off from his battery mate Taylor Smith tonight, as a fastball strike settles in over the knees to Jamal O'Gwyn. As I mentioned, heart of the order for Chatham, O'Gwyn, Terrell, and Ramirez. Jamal, big bat from the right side of the plate, slightly open stance, steps forward with that front foot, but he doesn't commit as he watches a strike hover over the outside portion of the plate.
And this is really a tough spot for, I think, both teams to be in. Don't get me wrong, it's much tougher if you're Chatham in this situation. But you got to start chipping away and not look at the scoreboard, but it seems almost unavoidable, that 9-run deficit. The fog is also starting to creep back in here at Veterans Field.
0-2, fastball on the outside corner, strike 3 called. It only took 3 pitches for Aiden Maldonado to put down Jamal O'Gwyn. David, you were just talking about it. The control is sound, and his strikeout numbers are skyrocketing because of it.
No, he's been great, Danny, especially as of late. His last time out, he went in even 3 innings in a really crucial spot. Remember, that was a 2-2 ball game against the Mariners in which the middle reliever stole the show in the latter part of that game. It was Will Heflin for Harwich. Aiden Maldonado pitched 3 scoreless, gave up just 1 hit, struck out 4.
His first pitch to Alex Terrell is taken outside. Terrell has been one of, I'll say, 2 real strong bats for Chatham in this ball game. He has 2 singles, including an RBI single his last time at the dish. Big lefty from Davie, Florida, plays his baseball at the U. Maldonado from the stretch, even with nobody on base, delivers a strike over the outside part of the plate. Alex so far only 1 home run on the summer. Came into today with a 153 average. Now finally has 10 hits. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss on a breaking pitch.
I don't know if it's a curveball or a slider. I would lean slider from Maldonado, but it breaks from the outside part of the plate to right over the middle. Also has a little bit of drop to it. Dirty pitch from the righty.
Yeah, there's nothing Terrell could do with that one. It completely bottomed out on him. Maldonado now comes set as he stretches those arms up above his head and back to his chest. Lifts and fires the 1-2, but he spikes it.
That was off speed. I think a changeup trying to get a swing out of Terrell, just a little bit too low.
Alex Terrell, who has now put together a modest 3-game hit streak, looking to improve to 3 for 3 if he can get on base right here. Here's the 2-2. That one is clubbed into deep right field. Back is Deloach. He's at the track, and he's going to make the catch just shy of the fence. Alex Terrell probably put it about 308 feet in the air, but he needed 314 to put it over the wall, and he's out number 2.
Deloach has been busy out in right. Now 5 flyouts to right field. Those are primarily to lefty hitters, so they're pulling the ball a good amount, seeing the ball well from Ross and Maldonado, but just 4 hits for Chatham.
Now steps in Ben Ramirez, whose last time up he reached on an error. Seemed like things were starting to fall apart for the Doors, that Chatham was going to get back into it when Ramirez reached base as he watches a ball outside. Because at the time it loaded up the base paths, and there was only 1 out.
Yep.
And then Tyler Ross maybe with the 2, biggest at-bats of the ball game.
I think that was really the turning point because then in the 4th, that was a 5-2 game at that point.
Right, exactly. Ball 2 misses just low to the lefty from USC.
But then it puts it back into the top half of the inning for the Commodores. Dunn tags Owen with a bunt single. The man, the myth, the legend, Zach Deloach comes up to the plate, right? So you know he's getting a hit. There's no other way. I've never seen him strike out in my life. But the Commodores just pour it on in the 4th.
All thanks to Tyler Ross getting back-to-back strikeouts with the bases loaded to keep it that way. Ramirez at the plate right now with nobody on and 2 outs, but he is facing a 2-0 count. He watches that one graze the corner. 2-1 goes the count. He's 0 for 2, does have hits in 4 of his last 5, so he's been a lot better lately. Now seeing his average climb, he entered today 273. The 2-1. Great pitch, and I don't know where it missed. It was a backdoor breaking ball that looked like it caught the corner and caught the knees, but I guess just a hair outside, says Jeff Mertzel. The 3-1 from Maldonado, swung on and missed, would have been ball 4, but Ramirez pulled out his 9-iron and tried to chip it.
Even in this 3-ball count, though, Danny, he's just missing by a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit on it on that 3rd ball. Against Hyannis, his first outing of the summer, he was all over the place. I mean, the fastball was way high. Catchers are jumping to get it. He's really found his stuff here.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Aiden Maldonado with 2 strikeouts in the 5th. Beautifully done against the heart of the order for Chatham. We will head to the top of inning number 6. It's still 11-2.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent care.
Back in action here at Veterans Field as we're just about to get the 6th inning underway. Falmouth leading 11-2. Still with plenty of more times to get up to the plate. Danny LaRose, David Korzenowski here on the call on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Tim Tawa is going to lead things off for the Doors, and he is one of many Commodores with multiple hits today. 3 for 3, a single, followed by a double, followed by another single.
All right, so can he go 4 for 4 like Deloach?
He watches a first pitch ball miss outside. It has become, I don't know, maybe a contest between those two. See who can be perfect. Takes a big hack at that off speed and nubs it foul.
I'm sure that they're having a little bit of fun as well. Deloach with 2 runs scored, Tawa with a double and 2 singles. So it's his turn to go yard, right? To match Deloach?
It's got to be. Here's the 1-1. He grounds it over towards the left side. That one towards the hole, but Villar with a great forehanded play. Throw on to first base, and he robs Tim Tawa of a potential 4 for 4 night. Anthony Villar showing it off at third base. Not really usually used to that position, but it looks like there that he is just fine.
He moved back and to his left because it was sharply hit from Tawa. Fielded it, and I thought that he wouldn't have a throw, but he spun around and had an absolute laser over to Terrell, his teammate at the U.
Langworthy watches a ball high. I do have to give Tawa credit. He falls to 3 for 4. Oh, no. And Deloach has the home run, and he does have a hard-hit double, as there's a foul ball off the mask of Smith. But I got to say, Tawa, every single hit he had, those first 3 hits, I mean, all of them were lasers. I got to say that he was getting a lot better contact through it the most part.
True, because Deloach did have that single, which was maybe 10 feet up the third base line.
Yeah. And then he had a pretty much a bloop hit that Cabanis tried to make a slide and catch on and couldn't. Breaking ball misses down and away. 2-1 now the count to Langworthy. He's still hitless, has reached base his last 2 times up and scored both times, but both of those were thanks to walks. Lefty-lefty matchup. The lefty Owen rocks and fires as he gets the fastball to go over for a strike. Evens up the count.
All right, so the pitcher's settling in. Falmouth's never really faltered in this game, but Jack Owen seems to be finding the zone a lot better.
2-2. That is blasted into left center field. Davis is there, and he will make the catch on the run. Austin Langworthy can't buy a hit right now as he split the gap pretty perfectly, but Cooper Davis with enough speed to get to it in time.
Man, Austin Langworthy, despite those 2 walks and the 2 runs, a tough go of it, and it's not really anything he's doing wrong. I mean, sure, you can nitpick and maybe point out some things that he could be doing better, but that's a hard hit ball into the left center field gap, just hangs up just a half a second too long, and Cooper Davis, one of the best outfielders on this team, gets over in a hurry to rob Langworthy.
Barron Radcliffe watches a fastball just get the knees, and Radcliffe is maybe the highlight of the ball game. He has 6 RBIs, a double and a home run. That won't get the job done right there as he swings, or I guess tries to hold up his swing, but goes around anyway on a 55-foot breaking ball.
So we had the stats thanks to Stu Murray, a good friend of the Cape Cod League and of us here with the Falmouth Commodores. 99-mile-an-hour exit velocity.
Swings and misses at that breaking ball, so he goes down on 3 pitches pretty quietly right here, but that doesn't take away from what he was able to do his last time up.
Yeah, and it was also 398 feet into the right center field gap. Unreal.
Textbook for Barron Radcliffe. He goes down on strikes in this half inning. It is the first 1-2-3 inning for Chatham pitching all night. We're still looking at 11-2 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Home 6th we go at Veterans Field in Chatham. Jorge Arenas is set to lead things off for the Anglers, who, we've been saying it for a couple innings now, need to chip away, but so far they've only gotten 1 runner on base throughout the 4th and the 5th. Haven't scored a run since the 3rd.
Yeah, they've been struggling at the plate, and I think this is a really, I don't know, it might be, I'm going to call it sneaky tough situation for a pitcher to be in, because I think that a lot of pitchers thrive with pressure, and they thrive in close games, coming out in a start at 0-0, coming out in a lot of relief appearances that the Commodores have seen. It can be close. But now you're up in a 9-run ball game. How do you maintain that same mentality when you're on the bump? I've heard some pitchers talk about it, that they actually prefer pitching in a close game than with a large lead.
If you're thinking just about your individual stat line, more often than not, you're going to let up, a couple runs, a couple home runs, and you're going to think, well, everything is fine. But that might hurt you individually. Aiden Maldonado was not hurt at all in the 5th inning. He worked a 1-2 inning with 2 Ks. Fires a fastball outside to Jorge Arenas, who's 0 for 2.
But I remember I shouldn't say talking. I was listening to Dennis Eckersley on a Red Sox broadcast, and he said that he hated pitching with a large lead.
1-0 from Maldonado. That one misses down and away as well. And I was saying it last half inning when Aiden came into the ball game, but I'm surprised that they opted for him, because he's been one of the most shut-down relievers that the Doors have used. He's been the guy who's come into those big moments when, it's a 1-run ball game or a 2-run ball game, when he's gotten the decision more often than not, and yet they're opting to use up a couple innings out of him. Misses with a fastball up and in. It nearly plunks Arenas, as he just can't find the strike zone right now. I don't know your thoughts on that, but
I don't think it was as calculated, or maybe they don't have guys. I mean, they definitely have guys who they bring in certain situations, but they also have a schedule, right? They have a schedule for when they want relievers going. So within a certain window, a game or 2, they're going to see 2 or 3 particular relievers.
fastball misses inside. Couldn't be squeezed by Smith as he was trying to frame it, but it popped right out. So a 4-pitch walk allowed to Jorge Arenas, and Brady Smith is going to be the man to the plate against Maldonado.
So Maldonado with no action since July 7th. It's about right. Once every 3 or 4 days you're pitching as a reliever.
Yeah. Brady Smith 1 for 2, a solo shot in the 2nd inning. It's pretty much been all Commodores since the outset of this ball game. They scored 2 runs in the 1st and continued to pour it on after. He checks his swing on a low diving fastball, but comes around 0-1. Smith, who does his catching at the University of Florida, batting just a hair above .315 on the season now after he's gone 1 for 2. 2 home runs and 7 RBIs for him. Maldonado taking his time, now comes home with the 0-1. It's flared out towards the right side, right near the Falmouth dugout, and it'll go out of play.
And Danny, what a difference a month makes for these two teams, right? The last time we saw them here, it was a 1-0 ball game. No one scored until the top of the 9th. A lot of temporary players. The bats were struggling. You saw those adjustments to the wooden bats. Here, it is the exact opposite. 13 runs combined through 5 complete, and now in the top of the 6th.
Pretty much as you would expect, the parity between the start of the season and the halfway point of the season. Fastball is corked out into center field. Blake Dunn has it lined up pretty well as he was positioned more towards the left center gap, and he makes the catch before any funny business could happen as Smith goes down for the second time.
Hard hit ball off the bat on the pitch from Maldonado, but no problem for Blake Dunn.
Cade Cabanis will now be the hitter. He's 0 for 2. Cabanis followed by Villar. Then we're back to the top of the order. Not too many standouts in this Chatham lineup. As we mentioned, I mean, it's been all Falmouth offense, but keep in mind, Chatham only with 4 hits on the game. Fastball dives low for ball 1.
This is a really complete game for the Commodores. We saw something similar against Brewster. They were up 12-3 for a majority of that game. Then Austin Langworthy comes into pitch, and the game looks a lot closer than it actually was. The final score was 12-7. But similar types of performances from the pitching staff and the bats.
1-0. That one misses down and in. Now Taylor Smith wants to go talk to Maldonado. He's been missing the strike zone, and the issue being that he's missing it by a wide margin.
Yeah, kind of the antithesis of the 5th inning. When he was missing the zone, it was just by a fraction of an inch or just a baseball's width, baseball's height here and there. Now he turns around with Smith after a long conversation. He's been missing a lot low as well.
And Cabanis is not a guy you want to throw balls to because he's only got 5 hits on the summer, batting a pretty paltry 132 coming into the ball game. Left-handed bat from Oklahoma State, just waiting to catch some heat. He's got Arenas on first base, who has shown no inclinations to run. The pitch, cut on and missed. Probably would have been ball 3, but looked juicy enough for Cabanis to chase after.
Cabanis 234 average this past year with the Cowboys. All Big 12 freshman team a couple years ago.
Maldonado from the stretch comes home with the 2-1. That one is shot out into right field. Back is Deloach. He's at the wall, and this one's out of here. Cade Cabanis with his 6th hit of the summer is his 2nd home run. A 2-run big fly off of Maldonado to make it 11-4.
So 2nd home run of the game for Chatham. And that was a ball off the bat. It just looked like a high fly ball.
Yeah.
Deloach had a read on it, but he runs out of space with the short porch out in right. That probably would have snuck out at most ballparks. I mean, maybe it would.
That got pretty high up there on the grass beyond right field.
Right. That's what's holding me up from saying that it would have been a pop out at other fields. But I don't know. Deloach was there in plenty of time and definitely could have kept running.
Check swing from Anthony Villar on an outside fastball goes foul. I thought off the bat it was going to be a flyout easily. Maybe mid-range in right field, but it just kept going. Cabanis is going to take it. Now makes it 11-4 as I mentioned, so still a pretty sizable lead. Swing and a miss. Terrell down, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, also the wind is blowing in that direction.
Good point.
So it is blowing from left to right.
And he put that one about, 50 feet in the air. Wind always blows harder, higher up you go. 0-2, just inside. Anthony Villar 0 for 1. He reached on a walk his last time up. But he has been really struggling at the dish lately. 2 for his last 24. The pitch goes around on the high heat, and he is yet again a strikeout victim. That's the first time tonight, but it's the 6th time in his last 10 at-bats now.
So Villar struggling. That's why he's in that 9 spot. Now the 3rd K of the evening for Maldonado. And he's quickly becoming like a really consistent strikeout pitcher.
Yeah.
3 Ks in this game, 4 in his last. If you look at his last 4 outings, including tonight, as ball 1 misses outside to the leadoff man, Polkovich, he has 3+ strikeouts in his last 4 times on the mound.
Another visit from Taylor Smith as they talk things over. That's something you never would have expected based off of his freshman numbers when he had 23 strikeouts in 26 innings of work.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he was the number 1 pitcher from Minnesota. A big name coming into the Big Ten by just about everybody, but he didn't have that strikeout capacity. But he's showing it on the Cape on the biggest stage. as he fires a breaking ball on the outside corner to Polkovich, 1-1. Two more runs have come home for Chatham. They still trail by 7. That ball misses just up and in.
I mean, if you look at his pace these last 4 outings, he's looking at about 15 Ks per 9 innings.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
The pitch swung on and missed, and that breaking ball is on a string right now. And I said it's the biggest stage. It might not be the biggest stage because, you know, the wins and losses don't mean as much as during the season. But, hey, there's some people in some hats and radar guns. Definitely means a lot to them. And to Aiden, it will in a couple years. Here's the 2-2. Goes with a fastball, and it is torched into right field, but well foul off of the light post and
Fair
over
ball.
the wall. So that would count as a home run if we were playing arena football rules, or not a home run, but an extra base hit for playing arena football rules. But that literally hit the light up there.
Seen a couple of those now. Didn't we have one against Bourne? I think it was. Was it Bourne?
Believe so. Count 2-2 anyway. The pitch. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Boy, might have been a little bit of a gift as Taylor Smith got the frame over the outside part of the plate. Polkovich goes back, a strikeout victim for the second time in a row, and Chatham will go down here in the 6th. They do score 2 more on one hit, pardon me. It was a home run from Cade Cabanis. No errors and nobody left on base as we go to the top of the 7th inning, 11-4 in favor of the Commodores.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Back here in the top of the 7th, 11-4 Falmouth lead. I mentioned some big names here at Veterans Field. Katie caught up with one earlier, and she's here to fill us in. Katie, what do you got?
Thanks, David. And like you just mentioned, there was a special guest here in Chatham tonight. Los Angeles Dodgers manager Dave Roberts was at this game earlier with his son. Now, the Dodgers are opening the second half of the season with the Red Sox tomorrow. And Roberts told me that he's never been to the Cape, so he saw this as a cool opportunity to experience it. I asked him how he would describe the history and tradition within the Cape League, and he said it certainly sets the bar for amateurs. So many past and present major leaguers were once right here on these fields. He never played here, but has many former teammates and current players who have, so he was very, very excited to be here tonight.
Thank you so much, Katie, and it was really cool. People were turning their heads and shaking their hands and getting pictures with Dave Roberts, who was a gracious guest here in Chatham, as the count is 1-1 to Kevin Kendall. And if you haven't seen, Katie was able to interview Dave Roberts for our social media, foul ball back into the netting. And that was in about the 5th inning that went up on our social media accounts. Please follow, if you don't already, at Fel Commodores on Twitter and Instagram. Also, subscribe and like our Facebook page. Kendall fouls one off the plate, off his leg. Count stays 1-2.
Kind of jealous of Katie.
Oh, I'm very jealous.
How many college students can say that they interviewed a big league manager, especially one that, you know, just managed in the World Series last year?
Managed in the World Series, also Red Sox legend. Don't forget that.
Right, he stole 2 bases, so now he goes down in history books forever.
I love how you're laughing at that, but he literally does.
Yeah, no. That's,
okay,
that's
I thought
the
you were
funniest
being
part about
sarcastic.
it.
I thought you were being sarcastic. The 1-2.
He's
curveball skips low and away, 2-2.
Because he's no Big Papi and he's no, Ted Williams.
Right.
But he stole 2 bases in the biggest game ever, and so he goes
I mean, the
down.
biggest was honestly the one towards second base.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the ballpark knew he was going. Shout out 4 Days in October. Ball 3, high and in.
Great doc. He's like Hayden Cantrell, where everybody knows that he's running,
right,
and he still can swipe the
Hayden
bag.
Cantrell and Dave Roberts in the same sentence. Hadn't heard that one.
You know what? I think you can pull it.
3-2, roped into center field. Cooper Davis was playing shaded towards left. He moved over and made the catch. Kevin Kendall moves to 0 for 4 on the night.
He was playing way in, too. I thought that was going to land in front of him, and then I look up, and all of a sudden, he's playing, pretty far shallow. Kevin Kendall, we know, not with a ton of power, and it shows off there that Davis lined him up pretty well. Cooper's had some weird routes to some baseballs tonight. That's another one where he kind of had to make a last-second jump in order to reel it in, but it works out both times.
Cantrell takes a ball high and away. This is the first time since the 4th inning where he's been up at the plate after he got ABs in innings 1 through 4. He takes a strike at the knees down the middle, 1-1. On deck, Blake Dunn. Commodores 11 runs and 14 hits against Chatham. Jack Owen still on the bump for the Anglers. He has now thrown a whopping 68 pitches. That was pitch 69. Strike number 2 makes it 70. He's thrown 46 strikes, 24 balls. And Danny, I've been impressed with his response since that 4th inning.
Yeah, I mean, that 4th inning was enough to get him yanked from the game, and yet he's come out as here's a foul ball from Cantrell, who refuses to go down without a fight. I mean, since that inning, like you said, he's really settled down. He's gotten a lot of strikeouts. He's thrown a lot of strikes, and he just looks like a totally different pitcher.
The 2-2 from the lefty Owen is high at the chin of Cantrell. Cantrell singled in his first 2 at-bats, came around to score, grounded out in innings 3 and 4. Owen from the windup, kicks and delivers. Strike number 3 down the middle. Cantrell knew it. 2 down.
I wonder what went wrong right there. There seemed to just be like a mental disconnect for Hayden as he had everything going. He lifted the leg. He was ready to swing the bat, and all of a sudden he just had a little hitch and didn't go around. It looked like he really wanted to go after it, really wanted to take a hack at it. It was an 85-mile-an-hour fastball right down Broadway, and just something held him up as he goes down a strikeout victim, which does not happen very often in 2019.
We have a pitching change here in the top of the 7th inning. Jack Owen gets the strikeout and fires 73 pitches. As we have another righty on the mound for Chatham in a conference right now and settling in.
Who in the world is this? Oh, okay. I read 51. I was like, there's no 51 on
I was
this
looking
team.
for 50. I still don't see it.
He is an infielder.
Okay.
We got a position player pitching. That
wow
is awesome.
This is his first appearance on the mound this summer. He has a .87 batting average. So maybe that's why he's making the move to pitcher. I don't know.
I think it's just because it's a 12 or 11-4 game. I mean, Jack Owen threw 73 pitches. I think that kind of goes by the wayside. A lot of people forget that that's pretty much a full start for Jack Owen. So he really got his money's worth after a rough first inning, and he finally comes out of the ball game. They just wanted him to eat up a ton of innings, and they decide, let's not waste any more arms in the pen. This game seems pretty much out of reach the way our bats are swinging, unless they can put together a last-second comeback in the last couple of innings. But for right now, just get the final out from an infielder and see what can happen.
So it's Houston Morrow who comes in. As I mentioned, an infielder and primarily been at the plate this summer. He's got a .087 batting average, and he has not yet pitched on the summer. We've only seen a couple position players toe the rubber. Austin Langworthy in the 12-7 win against Brewster. He came in and gave up 2 home runs. And then in a beatdown here at Veterans Field, Chatham was putting the hurtin' on YD, and one of the Red Sox infielders came in to pitch. Morrill also did not pitch at all at Oklahoma State.
He's not a pitcher.
He fires a 91-mile-an-hour fastball to get a swinging strike from Blake Dunn.
I mean,
could have fooled me.
You see some infielders from the left side, they have some lasers. So.
Oh, so that explains it.
I mean, he can he's just flinging it right now.
The second pitch is way outside to the righty, Dunn, and his hat nearly falls off his head on the follow-through. The 1-1, righty from the windup. This one slapped, should be playable. Foul territory, coming back in towards the line and making the catch is Anthony Villar. A 1-2-3 inning worked, and he's perfect. Take him out of the game now. One batter, a 0 ERA. We head to the bottom of the 7th, 11-4, Falmouth.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Back here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Danny, a new pitcher on the mound. But before we get to that, we're going to look at the upcoming schedule for the Doors. A couple home games coming up against Bourne and Brewster. Then next week, YD, Hyannis, and then 2 games against Wareham. Something I noticed last night. We got about 20 games left, and we're going to be the Commodores will be seeing the Wareham Gatemen 5 times.
Yeah, thanks to a hailstorm in the first inning. And just really weird scheduling.
Yeah.
They have to play Wareham a ton, and that could really come down to a fight for first.
Right.
We might see a real battle for first place get neck and neck with those 5 matchups as long as they stay competitive.
We have Justin Robleski on the mound for the Commodores. He fires a first pitch strike to the pinch hitter for Chatham. It is Kendrick Kalalau from Florida. He takes a ball from Robleski. We'll talk about the lefty from Clemson first. 11.04 ERA in 5 appearances, 7 1/3 innings of work, 6 walks, 9 strikeouts. He misses upstairs. And I think a lot of Commodores relievers fall into this category. A little bit inconsistent.
Yes, absolutely. With Robleski, every other outing is a solid outing. So as he fires that right past Kalalau, swings and fouls it away. But his first outing, 3 runs over 2/3 of an inning. Next one, scoreless over 2. Third outing, 2 earned runs over 1/3 of an inning. His next one, scoreless over 2. Then against Bourne in his last time out, 4 earned runs over 2 1/3. That was in that string of Commodores pitchers who could just not buy an out.
Single into right field in front of Deloach. Kendrick Kalalau 1 for 1. He tags Robleski for a leadoff single in the 7th.
So I was just about to get to it, but Kendrick Kalalau decides that he wants to buck the trend. Whatever. But Robleski is due for another scoreless, pretty near perfect outing if you were to go through that symmetry. I mean, that's now 5 appearances on the summer where every other one has been either scoreless or multiple runs allowed.
Robleski delivers to the lefty. Colin Hall. Robleski from the stretch. Strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Hall wearing number 14 for the Anglers. Number the 1-1. Ball number 2 outside. Hall, a rising junior at Georgia Tech, 5'11", 190. Had a 307 batting average this past year with the Yellow Jackets. Struggled a little bit this summer, 204 batting average with 1 double, 3 RBIs. He takes a strike down the middle, 2-2.
Hyannis Harbor Hawk a year ago, if I remember correctly.
Ooh.
I think I'm right in that. That's just off the top of my head.
The 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Colin Hall goes down a strikeout victim. And now it brings up Paxton Wallace, as my scorecard is just getting torn up right now with pinch hitters.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a really big deficit, but it almost seems like Chatham is just kind of, throwing in the towel. What with bringing in a position player already into the ballgame to pitch in the 7th inning and then throwing in all these, pinch hitters. I don't know, maybe a little early, but again, it is a big deficit.
Wallace with a 250 average this summer. He has 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. Robleski, without even stepping off the rubber, tosses over to Barron Radcliffe at first base. He checks on Kendrick Kalalau. Kalalau, 2 stolen bases this summer. One ball, no strikes.
Oof.
Strike on the inside part of the plate, as that was a late call from Mertzel, and some of the Anglers fans didn't like it.
That was caught an inch off the dirt. I calls it like I see it.
11-4 Falmouth win here in the bottom. In the bottom of the 7th. Here's a hard hit ball into the right center field gap. Gets down between Dunn and Deloach. Rounding is Kalalau, who will hold up at third. It's a stand-up double for the pinch hitter, Paxton Wallace.
See what you do when you jinx it like that?
Hey, you have to give me credit for the grand slam from Barron Radcliffe.
True.
So,
not yet a win, and as of this point, it looks like it's still going to be a win. But again, Chatham not going down without a fight, even with all these pinch hitters. I mean, when you go to a pinch hitter in the Cape Cod League, it's not like you're going to your bench guy who bats 200.
Right.
You're going to your bench guy who bats third for UCLA. So that's exactly what's happening right here. Chatham not quitting as they're still trying to muster away some runs.
brings up Ben Ramirez, hard hit ground ball to Tawa. He throws across the diamond to Radcliffe, allows the run to score in Kalalau. It's 11-5.
That probably could have been a play at the plate if it was a little harder hit. Tawa had to charge in on it. It was a slow chopper and not too much speed from Kalalau coming home, but smarter play for Tawa was just to go to first base. No tag has to be applied over there, obviously, and it gets an out even though it brings in a run.
Brings up Jorge Arenas, 0 for 2 today with a walk in the 6th inning. Shortstop who goes to Stetson University. Arenas had a 268 average this past year. He watches a curveball for a ball. Anglers have been chipping away. They've scored the last 3 runs of this game. It was 11-2. Now it's 11-5. Fastball on the outside black for a strike, 1-1. On deck, Keaton Rice, another pinch hitter. He actually came in as a defensive substitution a half inning ago for the catcher, Brady Smith. Ball number 2 misses. Now 2 balls and a strike. Foul tipped into the mitt of Taylor Smith, 2-2.
You know Jorge wants to hit. He's got no hits in his last 3 games. Only 2 strikeouts in his last 8 games played. So he's a guy who I compared it to Tawa before, where hitting the ball a lot but not finding the gaps. And even in a game like this, that could do a whole lot for your confidence.
Ball number 3 inside. A nice stop by Taylor Smith to prevent it from getting behind him. Possibly would have allowed Paxton Wallace to score. He's at third base. 3-2, 2 outs, a runner on third. Robleski, the lefty from Clemson, kicks and delivers. Ball 4, holds up on his swing and draws his second walk of the game.
Robleski having a tough time his last couple of outings. I mean, he's really struggling to find the plate. He's getting hit around quite a bit. And nothing seems to be working out for Robleski no matter what pitch he goes to. It's either, missing the zone or it's getting blasted into the outfield.
Robleski has issued 7 walks, 9 strikeouts this summer. So he has walked at least one batter every time he's been out. Keaton Rice takes a strike. Rice from Bradley University, a rising senior. 214 average this past year. He drew a substantial 40 walks. The 0-1. Strike 2. Rice takes a couple practice hacks in the box. Lefty-lefty matchup. Robleski delivers high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fans clearing out a little bit here at Veterans Field, but they still have a lot on hand on this chilly night. The 1-2. Curveball, strike 3. Got him looking. Justin Robleski gets 2 Ks. He allows 1 run on 2 hits. No errors, and the Doors strand 2 anglers on the base paths. To the 8th we go. It's 11-5 Falmouth.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod. With 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. Like the new short rib tacos or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Zach DeLoach will start things off in the top of the 8th. DeLoach, Cruz, and Smith due up. Whole host of changes for the Anglers. Wallace at first, Hall in center, Rice behind the plate. Foul ball from DeLoach, who's trying to go 5 for 5. He has been outstanding so far tonight. 2 singles, a double, a home run. Houston Morrell still on the mound. Here's one tagged into foul territory. Moving back into fair territory is Villar. He makes the catch. 1 down.
So he's not going to bat 1,000.
A measly 800 batting average for Zach DeLoach on this Thursday evening.
Brutal. That'll only bring up his near 400 average to above 400. Just unreal pace.
Hard hit from Cruz in between Villar and Arenas. A single from Trey Cruz, who has 2 hits on the evening.
Zach DeLoach walked so Trey Cruz could run because Cruz responds on the very next pitch and absolutely blasts that thing. I mean, that was so hard hit. There was no chance for either of those infielders.
15 hits now for the Commodores. They have 5 players who have had a multi-hit game tonight.
Just do that every night.
Just do that every night. End quote, Danny LaRose. Taylor Smith watches strike number 1 down Broadway.
The Franco Aleman key to succeeding.
True. We'll be back home tomorrow. So we'll see who we get as a in-game interview. Here is a high fly ball to deep left field. This one back at the track, and it's gone. Taylor Smith, the 6th Commodore with multiple hits, his 5th home run of the year. It's a 2-run blast to make it 13-5.
He just only hits home runs, and I'm about it because it is so entertaining to watch, and this is one of those rare home runs that doesn't come in a huge situation. He had a home run against Chatham. The last time these two teams played, it was in a 6-4 game in the final inning. That made it 6-5. He had a walk-off home run in the last game at home on the homestand, and now he's got a home run in a slugfest. That just adds to the stat line, but at the very least for Smith, it doesn't come in a huge situation, but again, he shows off the power as he does. He just does that every time. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Ball 1 comes into Tim Tawa. And then ball number 2. Houston Morel gets tagged for a 2-run home run. 4th home run of the game we've seen. 5th. As foul tipped into the mitt, 2-1. Radcliffe with a grand slam. Deloach with a 2-run bomb. Taylor Smith adds on. And the Anglers have 2 of their own. Strike number 2 to Tim Tawa. So Tawa can catch Zach Deloach right now. He can go 4 for 5 as well.
Oh, there we go.
With a hit.
This is what we have gotten down to.
The 2-2 way inside. Tawa dodges out of dodge. Dodges out of the way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is blowout coverage. This is we gotta focus though. Full count. 1 out. High fly ball on the infield. Polkovich moves over to his left and makes the catch. 2 down.
So he doesn't catch up to Deloach. Zach is still the king. And blowout coverage, it's like what separates the men from the boys.
Right, that's what I'm saying is we're laughing and joking around, but this is important to know how to call a game when it's 8 runs.
That's what you do. You laugh and joke around.
That's actually true.
You can't just watch and say, oh, well, never
Hard hit ball down the left field line. This will be extra bases for Austin Langworthy. He gets into second base standing up. And he has been making hard contact all night, Danny. Worked 2 walks, scored 2 runs, and now he gets his first hit.
And he deserves it. I mean, we have been saying this for like a week now, but Austin Langworthy has been making such solid contact just about, every other time he gets up to the plate. Very consistently has been striking out less, and finally he gets it paid off. And you know what I'm seeing? He did it against Hyannis. It's opposite field hits. He is staying with these pitches. He's not trying to do too much with them. He's typically a pull hitter. We've seen a lot of shifts against him in his years at college, but he's starting to shoot the opposite field because he just has to adapt.
Barron Radcliffe smokes one into left center. And this one's gone! What? 15-5. Barron Radcliffe, 8 RBIs. Holy moly.
Well, Barron Radcliffe is having his coming out party. I mean, goodness gracious. Enters the ballgame at a 157 average. Had 1 game with multiple RBIs, and it came last game he played against Hyannis. Now a double and 2 home runs. As you mentioned, 8 ribbies. That is double his season total coming into this point. He has a full season's worth of RBIs. 2 seasons worth of RBIs.
Oh, my goodness. Kevin Kendall steps up to the plate. And we got to lock in because this is the only Commodore who does not have a hit tonight.
You got to do it, Kevy.
The 0-1 outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kevin Kendall has reached once. It was on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning. He wants in on the party. Houston Morel, the position player for Chatham, has gotten tagged for 2 home runs in this half inning. Check swing, he went around. 1 and 2.
I'm rooting for him. I want to see all 9 with hits. Haven't gotten to pinch hitters yet either. There's 1 on deck, though.
Steven Moretto, who stands in the on-deck circle. Off speed, misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kendall steps out of the box after calling for time. Morrell, the righty from Oklahoma State, winds up and delivers. Here's a high fly ball into shallow left field. Best read on it is the shortstop Arenas. He makes the catch over his shoulder. The Doors add 4 more thanks to 4 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Radcliffe and Smith go yard. It's back to a 10-run Falmouth lead, 15-5, entering the bottom of the 8th.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Commodores up by 10 on Chatham. It's 15-5. Danny, let's look around the Cape League as this is the last game that's still going on.
Yeah, I just filled up my gas tank yesterday,
Did you?
so we'll drive all around.
All right.
We're in Chatham right now. Like you said, the only game still going on because just a town over out in Orleans, that game also started at 7. Took 2 hours, 22 minutes, and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks shut out the Orleans Firebirds 2-0. Check me on this right now. Got to be the first Harbor Hawks shutout of the season.
I was just going to say the same.
I'm calling it. But Orleans, who are losers of now 7 of their last 8, just broke a 6-game losing streak last night, now beaten by the worst team on the Cape in shutout fashion. So their bats have been non-existent. We'll go out to Wareham all the way west. Wareham beat the Bourne Braves 4-2, so they remain atop the Western Division. Keeping it within the Western Division, the number 2 team, the Katuitt Kettleers, they win 2-0 over Harwich out at White House Field. That game only took 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Wow. Strike number 1 from Robleski to the pinch hitter, Tyler Dones.
We got one more.
All right.
Yarmouth Dennis beat Brewster 5-3 at home.
Hard hit ball down the right field line. Off the bat of Dones, it's Maisel who's out in right field. He fields it in the corner, throws in, and it's a pinch hit double for the man from West Virginia, Tyler Dones, to start off the bottom of the 8th.
And this is going to be the only game on the Cape tonight that does not finish in under 3 hours. Because every other game, 2 hours, 38 minutes was the longest game. And that was the one at YD that finished in 8 innings because of darkness. And it's still, 2 hours, 38 minutes. So we're already past that.
So I've been doing some digging over here on point streaks.
Yes.
It was the first Hyannis Harbor Hawks shutout.
Knew it.
This is also the largest deficit Chatham has faced all year.
Wow.
They are not a team that gets blown out. Here's a ground ball over to short. Kevin Kendall fields it. Throws on to Barron Radcliffe to get Anthony Villar 1 down. Moving over to third base is Tyler Dones. A couple defensive substitutions we missed. Steven Moretto in at third, so that moves Tim Tawa over to second. Austin Maisel out and right, as I mentioned, on the Tyler Dones double. But Chatham doesn't get blown out. Tom Holliday's their manager. He has done a great job. Their largest loss of the year was 7 runs last night to Wareham. Here is a ball into the left center gap. Gunning for 2 is Caden Polkovich. He gets in standing up. Tyler Dones scores. It's 15-6.
So I guess they're trying to keep it within 7 as they've now made it a 9-run deficit after that latest RBI double. Robleski continues to get hit around quite a bit as now he's let up runs in every inning he's pitched. He just really trying to settle down, and this was a great opportunity to do so. But again, this Chatham lineup, even when their pitching is letting them down, they're still putting up a lot of runs and hits.
Strike number 1 to Kendrick Callalow. Now second AB for the pinch hitter, Kalalau. No balls and 1 strike. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Came in for Cooper Davis in the 7th. But Colin Hall went out to play center field, so Kalalau moved over to left. No balls, 2 strikes. Here is a towering shot into right field. Austin Maisel loses his hat. Calling for it is Tim Tawa at second base. He makes the catch, 2 down.
The Austin Maisel hat watch. Even when he doesn't.
Well, there was one yesterday. I thought of you because it was at Katuitt, and he was playing left field last night. And there was a ball. I swear it was a routine fly ball. He didn't have to move a muscle out and left. He looks up and his hat falls off his head. It was like he wasn't even running, and he just couldn't hang on to that.
And even when he doesn't have to make the catch, like just then, takes 2 steps and loses the hat. I gotta ask him.
Colin Hall takes a ball outside. Center fielder from Georgia Tech struck out swinging his first time up against Robleski. That was the first out of the bottom of the 7th. 15-6 your score here at Veterans Field. 18 hits for the Commodores to 9 for the Anglers.
Another point that I just noticed with the rest of the scores across the Cape League and how all of them have been less than 3 hours, all of them were decided by 2 runs. Exactly 2 runs. And this game, of course, has to be, you know, the ugly duckling of the group.
What, you're saying Chatham's not going to score 7 more?
You got me.
2 balls and no strikes, 2 Hall. Robleski delivers. Low at the shins. And also, Danny, Chatham has scored more runs than any other team in the Cape League tonight besides Falmouth.
NYD, they scored 5 also. Oh, 6. I can't even count anymore.
I don't know what's in the air right now, but we are losing it right now. Strike number 1.
That's a good point, though, is that everything was a pretty low-scoring game. It was pitchers' duels across the Cape until you get to Chatham.
3-1 the count after a strike at the belt to Hall. Robleski delivers, foul tipped into the screen. Full count, 2 outs, a runner on second in Caden Polkovich. Couple doubles for the Anglers here in the 8th to make it 15-6. Tyler Dones led off with a double. He comes around to score. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hall strikes out twice in his 2 ABs of the night. To the 9th we go. Final frame here at Veterans Field. It's 15-6. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Position, player, pitching. Part 2. We have Jorge Arenas, the shortstop for Chatham, moving to the mound. He switches spots with Houston Morrell.
It's at that point of the day. I mean, Tom Holliday is just like whatever, man.
Jorge Arenas with a .268 batting average last year with Stetson. He comes onto the mound, his first appearance of the summer, towing the rubber.
Got to be his first appearance ever in his collegiate career.
Maybe baseball career? Perhaps.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure he pitched some in Little League. Sure he pitched some in high school. We'll see if he pitched any at Stetson, because I'm going to go with no.
So Tyler Dones moves out to right field. Now completely fresh outfield from the starting three today. We saw Jamalo Gwynn in left, Cooper Davis in center, Cade Cabanis in right. Now we got Kendrick Kalalau in left from the University of Florida. Colin Hall from Georgia Tech in center. Tyler Dones from West Virginia in right. Houston Morrell is in. Jorge Arenas, the shortstop, is on the mound. The righty from Stetson, from Miami Shores, Florida, will go up against the pitch hitter Steven Moretto and hit him on the first pitch.
God.
Can I go home now, please? This game is bizarre.
You just hit him on the first
pitch. This
pitch.
game is just insane.
Oh, my goodness.
We have seen...
It's just spiraling out of control even more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home runs, 27 hits, 2 position players pitching.
Most important stat.
1 million pinch hitters as ball 1 misses to Blake Dunn.
That was just so funny. I mean, at the very first pitch. I love when position players come into pitch and they work like a 1-2-3 inning because nobody knows how to hit like an 84-mile-an-hour fastball that breaks and stuff. And that has not been the case tonight.
Strike number 1 to Blake Dunn, and confirmed. Jorge Arenas, a rising senior at Stetson, has never pitched in college. Not once.
Well, here's his chance.
The 1-1. A 78-mile-an-hour pitch to Blake Dunn. I don't even want to label it.
I'm going to go with slider. It looked like he tried to throw it with a foot.
Stop it. That is just what are you saying? The 2-1. Swung on and missed. 86-mile-an-hour heater from Jorge Arenas.
And I think Blake Dunn was trying to swing his bat at 86 miles an hour because he was ready to deposit that into Rhode Island.
Well, he wants a home run, too. I mean, Baron Radcliffe can't have them all, right?
Yeah.
Deloach with 1 in the first. Radcliffe with the biggest one of the game in the 4th, as this one's fouled back. That made it 11-2 and really put the game out of reach. It was 5-2. Excuse me. Yeah, it was 5-2 when he stepped up to the plate. Made it 9-2, and then the Commodores just pouring it on in the 4th. And then, in the 8th inning, with Houston Morrell on the mound, Taylor Smith and Baron Radcliffe went yard again. Smith's 5th of the year, Radcliffe's 2nd of the game. Another foul ball back, and it stays 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Arenas with that right arm dangling. He sets in the stretch, kicks and delivers. Another foul ball. Blake Dunn putting up a great AB here.
Yeah, Arenas keeps coming at him up and in with some pitches, and Dunn is doing his best to get extended and just try to pull a baseball. We'll see if he can finally force a hit.
Dunn swings and misses at the 88-mile-an-hour pitch from Arenas. He has his first strikeout in years.
Yeah, literally in years. And Blake Dunn unable to make contact on that after making a bunch of great swings on some foul balls. So kind of unfortunate for him because it looked like he was lining it up, looked like it was only a matter of time, and just couldn't come out on top.
Austin Maisel comes in for the pinch hit. Great feature on Austin Maisel written by Max Trink. Check it out on the Commodore's blog. Maisel from Stoneham, Massachusetts. No balls and 1 strike to the outfielder. He's playing right in the later innings of this game. He dodges out of the way of a pitch inside. 1-1.
Did we see is this like the biggest margin of victory for Falmouth in a couple of years? Because I remember when they were playing Bourne, 14-0 loss was the biggest loss in since 2017.
This would be their biggest win of the summer. They did have a 10-run victory last year, 17-7 against Katuitt.
Oh, yes. When Logan Davidson went yard twice.
Correct.
He's just been replaced by Baron Radcliffe.
Exactly. 2 balls and 1 strike to Maisel. Ball 3 inside. So coming in for Deloach is Austin Maisel. Deloach finishes the day 4 for 5, a home run, a single, and a double. 2 runs scored. As strike number 2 comes in on the inside part of the plate. Full count. Arenas from the stretch. 9-run ball game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Jorge Arenas. Brings up Trey Cruz with 2 down.
All right, so maybe we shouldn't have laughed at him when he threw a first pitch and hit Moretto, because he's bounced back pretty well as he's kept Dunn and Maisel guessing. I'm sure there's no real formula going on from him, but he is figuring something out.
Trey Cruz takes a big hack at the first pitch he sees, comes up empty. No balls and a strike. Cruz has had a great night at the plate, 2 for 5. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Ball number 1. Jorge Arenas has fired 17 pitches so far. 15-6 Falmouth here in the 9th. Kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
You know, I mean, it's 15-6, so I'm not going to nitpick, but these Falmouth hitters really just swinging out of their shoes right now, trying to launch these baseballs.
I
for
genuinely
Marinas.
think that they just want some home runs.
They just want to hit one like 600 feet.
The 1-2. Belted foul.
The reward for the Chatham faithful for sticking this one out?
Dollar dogs.
$1 hot dogs. Still a good amount of people here.
That's fat. I like that.
And it's pretty cold. Why can't every night just be a comfortable like 75 degrees? Is that too much to ask, David?
You are such a what's the word?
That time I was going for the irony.
Okay, good.
Because I was making fun of myself for always complaining about weather. It's either too hot or it's too cold.
Right. The 1-2, Trey Cruz at the plate. He watches a fastball at about his eyes. 8 Commodores with a hit tonight, 5 with multiple. Actually 6 when you count Taylor Smith's home run. It's just a great night for the Doors offensively, their highest run output of the year. Here is a foul ball that nearly takes out Ryan Eiley, the first base coach. Count stays 2-2.
Twinkle toes over there, showing off
Twinkle, twinkle, little
reflexes.
toes.
Gets from right foot to left foot and hops away from that baseball. I like it.
Eiley, the first base coach, wears number 21. Ball 3. Will Hawks, the bullpen coach for the Commodores, wears number 4.
That's necessary information. I appreciate that.
Brett Becker does not wear a jersey, neither does Coach Mike Landry or manager Jeff Trundy.
They don't, do they? Just realized that.
The 3-2. Running on the pitch is Moretto, but it's fouled out of play. And a horde of kids just dash for right field. 3 balls and 2 strikes. (15-6) your score in the top of the 9th. A game that has lasted over 3 hours now. Full count. Foul ball again. Commodores with their most runs scored in a single game. Second most hits. They had 19 hits against Brewster, scored 12 runs. 18 hits tonight. Here's Arenas. The 3-2 again is fouled back. This is the battle of the night. Jorge Arenas, shortstop for the Chatham Anglers, going up against Trey Cruz in what has been a long at-bat.
Legitimately, though, like everything is rudimentary to this point and yet keeps getting extended.
Rudimentary. You don't even know what that means.
Okay, Notre Dame
The
big shot.
3-2. Ball 4.
Listen. It's not like ludicrous country yet, because 15-6, like plenty of games have ended like with 9-run deficits. This isn't absurd by any stretch. It's just I don't know what it is about this game. The fact that it has been pretty much all Falmouth since like the 3rd inning,
right?
Or the fact that we're pushing a 3-hour game when it's been decided for the past 2 hours.
Right.
There's just an intangible about this game, which just puts it into ludicrous territory.
I need Taylor Smith to go yard here. He took Houston Morrell for a ride in the 8th. A 2-run blast with Cruz on first. Now he's got Moretto on second and Cruz on first. Commodores need some runs here. Swing ground ball to third base. Taking it himself is Caden Polkovich. He taps third base, and to the bottom of the 9th we go. 15-6 your score. This is the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Position, player, pitching, part 3. We saw 2 for Chatham, and now Austin Langworthy comes out with redemption on his mind.
Yeah,
and an extended save in his sights.
This
He
is-
comes out in the bottom of the 9th inning, up by 9, ready to strike out the side after giving up a couple of home runs to Brewster.
So yeah, his lone pitching appearance, 2/3 of an inning, and it came in what a 12-3 ball game at the time. Let up 4 runs on 4 hits. including a couple long balls. Did work a strikeout, couldn't get out of the inning. This is a little bit less of a position player pitching because, I mean, he is a pitcher. He does do a lot of pitching. Not a lot, but a decent amount, more than you would think, down at the University of Florida. Didn't get any opportunities to pitch last summer, but now he's getting that opportunity twice now, so we'll see what he can do in this time around. This time against Chatham, so maybe they don't have the same formula that Brewster did.
Paxton Wallace fouls off the first pitch and takes one for a ride into right field. Maisel is tracking it. He makes the catch. Over his shoulder, one down.
All right, good start for Langworthy. Just got to keep it that way. Can't go 2/3 of an inning here. You are so close to the end of the ball game. So close to letting this marathon finish. All you got to do is tell Chatham it's over. You have the high ground.
Houston Morrell steps in. Langworthy from the bump delivers a ball low. Keep an eye out for the knuckleball, folks. He threw a handful against Brewster. Swing and a miss. Makes the count 1-1.
Looked like a changeup. Scoreboard said 41. Can guarantee it was not 41.
High fly ball out to right field again. Maisel loses his hat because he can't catch the ball if his hat is on his head. 2 down.
That is how it works. I did read a science textbook one time that said that, but Austin Maisel just as busy as Zach DeLoach was to start the ball game. Something about these Chatham hitters. They love shooting the opposite field. Maybe it's something they do in batting practice, but hasn't really worked out in this ball game.
Jorge Arenas, who was just on the mound for the Anglers, steps up. Knuckleball.
There it is.
For a ball.
I could hear the Chatham broadcasters, Josh Schaefer and Cooper Boardman, losing their minds that he just threw a knuckleball.
1 ball, no strikes.
Woo!
There's another. For a strike. 1-1, and the Falmouth dugout goes crazy.
Oh, that was money. That was a beauty.
I think he's just going to throw a handful here. Here's the 1-1. There's another. Ball 2 inside.
Listen, this is the great thing about summer ball is that you can, have that fun. I mean, especially in a blowout game, but you can experiment with new pitches. Sometimes guys do it seriously, and sometimes guys do it like Langworthy does.
Ball 3 in the dirt. 3-1.
All right, Langworthy. Expecting a knuckleball here just to get me over pitch. Doubt Arenas is going to be able to line it up because you can never with knuckleballs.
3-1 is a strike.
He went with the fastball. Okay, so 3-2. Now we're expecting knuckleball. The entire dugout is too. They're on their feet looking for it.
Full count, 2 outs. There's a knuckleball. Ball 4. Austin Langworthy smiling a little bit after that one.
All right, yeah. So at this point, I think it's just endless madness.
Keaton Rice, pinch hitter who struck out his first time up against Justin Robleski, fends off a foul ball. No balls and a strike. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Nice pitch from Langworthy. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what Langworthy does when he's, pitching for his school, because sometimes he looks like he's got these lights out pitches, and other times he's kind of just slinging it over.
The 0-2. Strike 3, got him looking. Austin Langworthy faces 1 over the minimum, and this game has come to an end. What a game it's been here at Veterans Field. Falmouth wins 15-6. We saw 6 home runs tonight, 4 for Falmouth. Danny, I want to start with probably the most important statistics. Those are the offensive ones. 4 home runs. Barron Radcliffe exploded.
Yeah, Barron Radcliffe is by far the player of the game. He racked up 8 RBIs. I said it after he had that second home run. 4 RBIs through the entirety of the first half of the season. 8 RBIs in this one game. He doubles his first half output entirely against the Chatham Anglers. He was incredible. Double, couple home runs, a grand slam as well that pretty much put the game on ice, and after then it was just going through the motions to bring us to the ninth. It was the Baron Radcliffe show with some great appearances featuring Zach DeLoach. Zach DeLoach had a home run early in the ball game. That put Falmouth on the board right off the bat, followed it up by going 4 for 4 before dropping his final AB. Trey Cruz had a couple of singles, so he gets a multi-hit game, and Taylor Smith doing what he always does with a home run, because why not? That one patted it on to make it a 10-run deficit at the time. So, just an all-around great performance. There are so many Commodores we can highlight in this one, but I got to give it up to Baron Radcliffe for having his breakout party.
All right, we'll look at the pitching briefly. Langworthy works a perfect inning just about, besides the one walk. Maldonado gets the win. Ross with another quality start, Danny.
Yeah, Tyler Ross, like I said, early in the game, all they had to do was score frequently and make sure that Ross was good enough to cement a victory. I was expecting it to not go all 9. Tyler goes 4 innings of work, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Those walk numbers were up, but when runners were on base, he was at his finest, and that is especially accentuated in the 3rd inning. Bases were loaded, there was only 1 out, and the game was at a 5-2 stand, so a one swing of the bat could have put Chatham in the lead. Instead, he responds with back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. After that, the rest was history. Falmouth just poured it on.
The Commodores are 15-6 winners. Getting the win for the Doors is Aiden Maldonado. He moves to 3-1 on the summer. Getting the loss is Ty Madden. He moves to 1-2. The Doors are 13-10-1. The Anglers 15-11-1. That'll do it here from Chatham, Massachusetts. For our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, my broadcast partner, Danny LaRose, who digs into his dollar dog, and my producer, Tony Bianco, who has somehow, some way put up with us for 3 hours and 15 minutes, I'm David Korzanowski saying so long from Chatham, where the Doors win 15-6.